what's it called, sound check. So we did 6 hours of programming yesterday, dude.
Only 6 hours.
6 hours of programming.
6 fun-filled hours.
No, they were fun. I mean, I always have fun. I mean, hey, listen, I walked into my studio at 8 a.m. and I was done at 10:20 at night.
That's when you sent me that stuff over so I could load up the segments for
Right,
the sound check.
Yeah, a 14-hour day yesterday.
I did have a longer break.
For those that think, oh, well, it's 6 hours, you work. Oh, well, yeah, so you work 6 hours. I worked 8. No, it wasn't 6 hours, dude. Okay?
Oh no! For every hour we're on the air, there's anywhere to 2 to 4 hours, depending on what's involved.
Yeah.
For each hour.
Yeah.
So if you do 3, it's at least 6, upwards of 12.
Always been like that.
For just 3.
Always been like that. I always trip out with the person that walks up to me and says, "Oh yeah, no, so you work 4 hours a day, huh? That's really tough." And I'm like, "Do you really think that I just turn on the mic and talk for 4 hours? That I just can come up with a conversation for 4 hours? That I did not do
Just
any kind of
magically pops in your head.
did
I
did
rolls
not
off your tongue.
Right, I did not read article after article after article before I got on. I didn't see a show after show and a game and this game and highlights here, and you think I did not do anything whatsoever?
Listen.
You think I didn't spend hours preparing for the show?
Listen to a bunch of interviews where there's yeah, and have to edit half. They gotta have 30 seconds, and you reduce it down to 10 seconds. You spend 20 minutes cutting.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it always
Listen,
is.
to let you know, this is the ether, and it's not a strong ether signal. That's what's going producing our.
So it doesn't even work the other way?
No, it is. It's working.
No, but did you do it through my thing?
You know what? It wouldn't pull up that.
Oh.
But the thing is, it kept going back to the original connection. You see, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
All right. All right. So hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully the connection will stay up, and we'll be able to give you the broadcast all the way through. I don't know if it will stay all the way through here, but we will do our best to hopefully get the video
You were
going.
talking about our surroundings here and stuff like that. Man, this place is monstrous.
I know, it's awesome.
And they got literally a couple of restaurants on the premises.
Yeah. Yeah. Tons of cars. They've got a Subways. They've got a couple of restaurants here, so you can have some food while you're out here. They must have hundreds and hundreds of vehicles, because that lot back there is absolutely ginormous. But I'm still tripping out on the Supras.
If I had to guess,
I'm still tripping out.
well, they got every color, every company.
Yeah.
What's the deal today?
Yeah, it's like when you go to Craig's Inn, they just have, it's just all those Acura.
Every
same
conceivable
thing. It's just,
color company, yeah.
yeah, because they want the customer to walk in and have a selection of the car that they want. Oh no, we only got 3 left, and we got all 3 are green. It's like, well, wait a minute. Where's the variety, bro? Where's the white one? Where's the black one? Where's the red one? Where's the blue one? No, we only got 3 greens. So that's not what you're going to get here. You're going to have a nice large selection.
I'm gonna say
Look at all the different Supras here.
They might have close to 1,000 cars.
I don't know. I don't know. Don't throw out some number, but they got a ton of cars. So they got them all out here at Toyota of Hollywood. As you can see the sign behind me, right next to our sound check. Yeah, it's freezing, dude. It is definitely freezing. Yeah. I don't know if we could talk to the IT guy. Maybe he's got another form to feed us for the video, because it would be nice. Because unfortunately, the folks are not going to be able to keep up with the video because it freezes on a consistent basis. I'm seeing it here, unless it's not freezing on there. Maybe it's not freezing there, and it's just freezing because we're on wireless.
You're on the gas. This has been pretty
You
solid.
know what? Do me a favor. For those of you that are watching, send us in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line at 786-322-1105 if it's freezing up on you or not, or is it? Maybe you're right. Maybe it's just because we're on the wireless here, and so I am seeing it there. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, you can also send me the message on YouTube, like always. here on Twitter at Big O Show is the other way that you can always reach out to us. And if you want to come on by, we're out here at 1841 State Road 7 in Hollywood. In fact, just a little bit south of that ginormous guitar that you see.
If you were standing where the guitar is, man, you could probably throw a golf ball down the street and it would bounce down.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, right down the street from the Big O Guitar. It's right behind us there. See the band.
Actually, coming in off the turnpike, okay, and when I make the turn off of Hollywood Boulevard and make the left, the view going down State Road 7, it goes directly into the guitar. Yeah. It is a very cool visual. It's awesome.
What are you gonna do? And it's a engineering marvel, that thing. And yes, we were going to start off at 1 o'clock like normal, but we just started a little earlier. That's the beauty of being your own boss. You can do whatever you want. You can start at whatever time you want. You want to start the show at 11, we do it. We're going to start it at 1 because that's what the broadcast is supposed to be, 1 to 4. But it's we can do whatever we want. Let's see. It says guys are coming in through great, both video and audio. There you go. So it is. So it's just.
The YouTube is good.
Yeah,
it's just your connection.
Yeah, it's just a wireless connection that it's not carrying the video.
I was gonna say because we're ether.
Yeah,
and
it
that's
should be.
Like,
should be rock
get
solid.
out of the way, everybody. I'm coming through.
Right, should be rock solid. So there you go. So you've got all of that. We got a bunch of things on the table, right? And one of them that has come up, and we've been talking about it on this show for a while now, and we'll talk a little Dolphins here. Kenyon Drake now has been reported to be on the trading block. And what have we been telling you for weeks now, right? And the people that might be surprised with this, then you weren't listening to this show. Because I told you that they were going to trade Kenyon Drake, or try to trade him, and try to trade Albert Wilson, and try to trade Devontae Parker. I told you that those three guys have no future here. I like Kenyon Drake personally, okay? I really do. But here's the problem with Kenyon Drake. Can you guarantee he's the guy? Can you guarantee he's going to stay healthy if you give him the ball all the time? Are you convinced that he is the guy? And here's the other thing. Because he hasn't played enough, how do you determine a contract? And so if the agent walks in and says, well, listen, I know that things haven't, but my guy's a number one back, and he needs to get paid a significant amount of money. I know you cannot pay him number one money, but maybe they ask for 5, 6, 7 million. Are you willing to pay Kenyon Drake that kind of money? Right, and then when you talk about the running back position, and I like Kenyon Drake, but it's the most interchangeable position in all of pro sports. Okay? Doesn't matter what sport we're talking about. Running back is the almost least valuable valuable position, unless you're Le'Veon Bell, you're Zeke, you're Saquon Barkley, and, well, he used to be in that list. He no longer is now, unfortunately, and that's Todd Gurley. That's the Elite Four. Now we're down to Elite 3 in this league. 3 guys, and maybe Kamara. I'll give you Alvin Kamara.
I was paying. Did you say Cook?
No, I have not, because he has. No, I'm not. No. You know, he doesn't belong anywhere in that list. Back-to-back knee injuries. He's not reliable. No, talent-wise, I understand. I just took Todd Gurley off the list, dude.
Yeah, you got to. Gurley's got it. Yeah.
And so if I took Todd Gurley, I got to take him out.
True.
And not because he's broken down,
just
but because he breaks down.
Because he hasn't done it long enough.
Because he doesn't do it. He never does it.
Yeah.
He never does it. I know. I've suffered from having him on my team. And, I love the kid. He's a terrific player.
It really sucks when you got a nasty talent like that and it's sitting on the bench and you can't do nothing with it.
Right.
That's terrible.
So I told you guys over a month ago that Kenyon Drake was going to be on the block. If Albert Wilson was healthy and could be on the field and play, they would move his ass. I mean, not even Nicki Minaj can move her ass that fast. Okay, that's how fast it is. They would move him right out of there if they can do that, and they can't, because he's been injured the entire time. So you can't move Albert Wilson, and you can't move Devontae Parker because they've been unreliable. Now Kenyon Drake, you notice they've benched Balaj. They're using Walton, which again we told you they should be using him, and Drake they still are using him because they're showcasing him. And he's had his share of injuries, and he's had his share of inconsistencies. So I cannot penalize the front office for not keeping him, and I can't, and I have to praise them for trying to trade him, because it would be irresponsible to give him a contract because you still don't know what he is. As much as I like him,
can't trust.
Right. As much as I like Kenyon Drake, he hasn't done enough to secure you and feel like, okay, I can give you this contract and I'm going to feel good that you're the guy and I'll get a complimentary guy. But, you can't do it that way.
Let me take it to the next level. If we're at the end of the season, we haven't traded him, blah, and we're going to make a deal, what kind of a deal do you give him? It's got to be incentive laden, and how many games you show up for.
Right. Well, here's the thing. It's just, and do you give him a long-term contract or? Well, actually, if you don't give him a bonus, then you're fine because it goes year to year either way. Because the only thing really guaranteed is that bonus,
right.
And then your salary's guaranteed once you've hit the starting of the season, and then that salary's guaranteed. But the Dolphins are in a rock and a hard place with Kenyon Drake because you've got 4,000 picks coming up. Tons of running backs are going to come out in the draft.
You know what? I was just
you can get another guy, and you won't have to pay him for 4 to 5 years.
You know how many quality backs have come out of the 4th and 5th rounds over the last 6, 7, 8 years?
Right.
They're falling off the tree.
And they have so many third-rounders that they can actually get a nice one there at that spot, or second-rounder.
A guy that can block.
They don't have to even reach for any of their first-rounders.
A guy that can pass, block, catch, and run between the tackles.
Watch college football, man. Yeah. I mean, you can draft the Wisconsin kid. You know what I mean? Whatever. There's a whole bunch of backs in college football. They come out every single year. And so what behooves you is you draft a guy that you don't have to pay for 4 to 5 years. Why are you going to sit down now in the offseason with Kenyon Drake when you don't know who Kenyon Drake is?
It's funny you mentioned the kid from Wisconsin. SVP just had him on for a segment a couple nights ago. The Wisconsin
good kid.
You know what? I like him a lot.
Yeah, no, he's a heck of a player. But remember this: you have Walton under control, and you have Balaj under control. So you can still draft another guy, and you can still have a stable of backs, and you're fine. And the way Walton is played, it makes those guys, tradable at that point.
In today's football, though, you do have a two-headed back.
Yeah.
And you obviously need a backup, and an injury comes down, so you may touch the 4th on most seasons.
Right.
So you want 4 guys.
Yeah. And look what's happening with the Rams. Luckily, they've got Brown, and they drafted Henderson, and they lost Todd Gurley. So that's why you have to put yourself in a position where the Dolphins are at, and then you also have to ask yourself, as a fan, what do you really know about Kenyon Drake that secures that you feel like you can sign him to a long-term contract? Not one person out there can say it outside of Kenyon Drake and his agent and his family. No one else can say, oh, for sure, Kenyon Drake's the man for the next 4 years. You can't say that. You've seen him miss blocks. You've seen him drop balls. You've seen him get injured. You've never seen him play an entire season. You don't know if he can carry half the load. Forget most of the load because you don't even do that nowadays. But let's just say half or 75% of the load. We don't even know that Kenyon Drake can do that for 16 games. He had a nice 5-game stretch. A really good 5-game stretch 2 years ago. But the problem is it's 5 games. It's almost like the Heat fan that keeps telling me about Dion Waiters. And the guy's played 29 good games in 8 years in the NBA. 29 out of 8. He needed surgery, and Riley still gave him a contract. Okay? I mean, that's just plain ridiculous that you would do something that stupid. I never imagined Riley would do something that stupid. The guy needs surgery. He's never been consistent. He played 29 games, and you're going to give him a 4-year contract? Are you out of your mind? And in the NBA, that's all guaranteed. So it goes to another level of stupidity when you give him that contract. Kenyon Drake, for those of you that might be complaining about Kenyon Drake or losing him or them trading him, what if they do sign him and then he suffers more injuries? And then he's nothing for that contract. And then you're ripping the front office for signing him. So, like I told you over a month ago, if Albert Wilson can get healthy and play well, they'll trade him. They'll move him right away. If Devontae Parker could show you any kind of consistency, they would ship his butt right out of here if they could. Why? None of them have a future here. And then you talk about the running back. What running back has a future on any team? You have to be Zeke Elliott to have a future. You have to be Alvin Kamara. You have to be such a difference maker that the front office looks at you like you're either the best player on the team or top 3, right? And when I go to the Saints, it's the quarterback, it's the defensive end, it's the quarterback, and it's Alvin Kamara. That's probably the 4 best players on the team. When I go to Dallas, Zeke is probably the best player on the team. So that's the difference there. I go to the Jets. Le'Veon Bell is probably the best player on the team. So that's how freakish those guys are. But you're not saying that about all the other backs because they're interchangeable.
On a list of pros and cons, Drake, too many cons side. Too much con.
It's not so much a con. It's more an unknown.
No, but you know what I mean.
No, I know what you're saying.
Pluses and negatives. There's too many negative check marks.
There are a bunch of minor negatives, but the problem is there's been too many negatives. And then here's the other thing: why is it that every coaching staff doesn't commit to it? Can you explain that? I mean, it's like every time a coaching staff comes,
it speaks for itself. So
they find somebody else. So I don't know what the hell goes on behind the scenes, in the classroom, in the practice field. I have no idea. But what I do know is it's a ton of inconsistency. So if you have all those questions, you can't sign somebody that way. Bobby McCain, you had no questions. You re-sign him. Look, Jakeem Grant. To me, the reason why Jakeem's deal's not looking good right now is because the Dolphins are playing him way too much. The guy's this size. He's supposed to be your 4th wide receiver.
Yeah.
And then a returner. So in other words, he barely plays. When you bring in 4 wide receiver sets or whatever, he's number 2 or number 3 right now. So he's on the field all the time. A little guy like that.
What would you say? Maybe 20 plays too many?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Whatever he's playing too much. He should be a guy that should be 10 plays on offense and whatever he's doing returning. Because you spot duty him. That's it. You use his speed as a specialty. That way when he pops in, he's fresh. But if you're running him all the time, and he's out there, even if he's just a decoy in the play, because of his speed, the defense has to account for him. But if you keep running him, he's a little guy, man.
That size, it's inevitable. He is going to break down, man.
That's what's happening.
He's giving up too much size on every play.
That's what's happening. And he's probably a part-time player, and you're playing him on a full-time basis because you've had injuries and you've traded guys. Because you traded Kenny, and Albert Wilson has been useless up until recently that he's starting to practice and play now.
Specialty packages, specialty plays.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all he should be.
You know something I was thinking about listening to you talk about the running back situation, right? And like us, you got 2 backs, you got a backup, then you got an injury, so you go through 4. Kind of like the quarterback situation, and you should draft a quarterback every year. Mm-hmm. And you get good backs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Yeah.
You should draft a running back every year.
Pretty close to it.
You know?
Yeah, pretty close to it.
And if not, don't go more than 2 years without drafting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Depends on where you're at running back.
Right.
Obviously.
You know what I mean? Right. But
so it all depends on like Miami, like I said. Look, unless you've given up completely on Balaj, but he could be just going through a bad phase. Happens to every player. I love how fans will just jump to it and immediately say the guy's done. And Balaj played really well last year, and he has not played well this year. Okay, but that doesn't mean he's a bad player. Everybody goes through a funk, man.
Hey, man, people have stuff going on in their
I don't know about
life.
I don't know.
You don't know.
No. But what I'm saying is, Jakeem had a terrible rookie year. He dropped a bunch of balls, and I told everybody, look, he caught 90 at Texas Tech. Relax. The kid can catch the ball. He just had a terrible rookie year, and eventually he turned it around, started catching everything, started making plays. This year, he's had his share of drops. He's screwed up a couple times. He's got to get it back on track, but that doesn't mean that he can't play. And Balaj can play. It's just you go through these phases sometimes as a player, as a human being. We all have our bad days, our bad weeks, our bad months. It's just one of those things that happen, and hopefully he can fight through it. And if Balaj fights through it, and you've got Mark Walton improving, now you can go out and get another back in the draft. And if you're able to trade Drake, okay, to a team that needs a back, you can pick up some kind of mid-round pick. You're not going to get a high pick for Drake. I don't even think you'll get a 4th rounder. I think it'll be a 5th through 7th. Is maybe more conditional, 6th, 7th, turns into a 5th depending on playing time and those kind of things. Because, see, it's really easy to say, well, you should try to keep him. But wait a minute. You're not the one that's got to pay him and take the chance. And if you just let him go, then you get no compensation. So you want to get some compensation. So you got to trade him. He's in his final year. So unless you're willing to sign him to a long-term deal, why would you keep Kenyon Drake around? It just doesn't make any sense.
Can I have a minute, 30, 40 seconds of your time?
Yes, we, by the way, are at Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 State Road 7 in Hollywood. Don't forget you can reach out to us on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105.
Is it too bright in here for you? Do you need your sunglasses? I see you squinting a lot. I mean, I know our future's bright.
What?
I know our future's bright, but, you know, you're over there going, this guy wants to put his shades on and be seen on camera. He's being like that guy, Jim McMahon. He doesn't have a problem with his eyeballs. He's had surgery. He's good. He's just a show-off.
All right, welcome back. We take you, of course, till 4 o'clock, actually, here on the program. It's President's Day, too, on the program, because Matt Caldwell, the president of the Florida Panthers, will be joining us at 3 o'clock. Tom Garfinkel, the president of the Miami Dolphins, will join us at 3:30.
Some heavyweights today by you, sir.
Yes, definitely. All kinds of heavyweights today, everywhere. So we've got that going on, and we're out here, of course, the ultimate heavyweight, Toyota of Hollywood, and we'll be out here till 4 o'clock, and we'll be broadcasting live here every month, once a month. So we've added that to the Craig Zinn family. Craig Zinn Acura for 9 years. Now we'll be doing Acura dealership, and we'll be doing Toyota of Hollywood. So we'll be at 2 dealerships every single month, broadcasting live. As always, we thank Steve Ostrov and Herbie Lopez, the general manager, and let's say the man here. Steve is the man here. He is in charge, large and in charge here at Toyota of Hollywood. So we thank him for becoming a great sponsor now of our program.
Gotta apologize to the folks that were maybe looking forward to seeing the unveiling of the tent. We actually got to do the show inside.
Yeah, they put us inside. I was shocked.
Which, you know,
I was shocked. I asked Steve,
I'm not going to complain. It's still summery-ish down here. If you're not in Miami, the humidity's still kicking hard. To be in the AC, I'm not going to say no.
No. But we will have the tent out next week. Yeah, next week, the 25th.
Last Friday of the month.
Yeah, next week.
Yes,
Next week we'll be at Craig Zinn. It'll be in the morning, by the way. And we'll be broadcasting at Craig Zinn from 9 to 11 in the morning. We'll be broadcasting out there, having some fun. So come on out there.
The unveiling of the tent will be a week and a day from today.
Yes,
the 25th.
Yes, a ginormous tent that we got, which is a beautiful thing. Looking forward to that one. Still trying to see what we get for ventilation inside. I don't know.
How about those little, portable AC little jobbies,
Yeah, we could do something like that.
I figured, because they say, it basically does air for like a 6-8 foot area. We put 2 of them in there.
But the only problem is it's all going to leave out the front. That's the part that sucks.
No. You put those pointing to the back, and it goes here, and then it escapes.
I see. Okay. I was thinking, we could talk to one of those companies that puts that little thing across the doorway that has air, and it shoots down.
Mean like the flaps for the
No flaps. No. It's that thing that goes across from the top, and it blows air down, and it's kind of like its own, and then it keeps everything out. It keeps flies out, it keeps the heat out, all that stuff. So if there's a company out there that can provide that for our tent, let's talk, man. Let's talk. 786-322-1105 on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, or you can email me, Orlando at thebigoshow.com.
Right now, I am all for that because of the bug reducing factor.
Yeah.
The mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Man, Nile virus and all that crap out there.
Because I was thinking
all over this idea.
I was thinking because we've got a couple of other events that we're going to be at with the tent, and I'm thinking, maybe we do get that little AC, but the problem is we need something that traps in the air, because that's a good thing about that tent. That tent has the flaps under, they flop down, so you can actually put some weights on it, and it'll trap all the air inside. But you need something in the front to kind of lock it in.
The thing you were talking about, man, the fact that it reduces the bugs too, it's 2 positives. I'm all over. Man, no, seriously, we're going to be at the one spot, and there's going to be like, here, I'll give you an example. BB&T, and the wind is coming out of the west, and the wind is blowing all the mosquitoes in from the Everglades.
Right.
Okay? That's the exact scenario. Because you know as well as I do, I-75, that little stretch, and sunrise is right there, and you get a wind coming out of the west, man, those mosquitoes are going to be right on top of us.
Yeah. No, I got you. If you guys want to reach out to us on the accidentlawfirm.com text line at 786-322-1105. And the other subject, obviously, that's been the hot topic, has been Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, there's been some developments on the starting of Ryan Fitzpatrick over Josh Rosen. I disagree with the decision, okay? This is a developmental year, okay? Now, I understand that the coach has a job and he wants to win. I get that, and I respect that. But the problem is, why'd you make this trade then? because you are basically giving up on Josh Rosen's career right now. You're basically telling him, you're done, your history, you're in the archives, we got you under contract, you'll be a backup, sit down and shut up. So, and you've given him no confidence now if you're Brian Flores. Now, the other thing that developed was Daniel Kilgore is injured. He's got a knee injury. And he's trying to practice and he's trying to play, but he may not end up playing. So then you're worried about a young quarterback that has to call the protections, but if he doesn't see the right protections, Daniel Kilgore is supposed to help him with those protections. So if Daniel's not there and the youngster makes the wrong calls, and now you've got a backup center that may not be as comfortable, it may be a problem of communication, it may be a problem of protection, and all of those things. So I do understand all of that. But having said all that, Daniel Kilgore, I don't think is that much of an upgrade over Evan Boehm, the guy that's going to end up playing. I don't think Daniel Kilgore is the end-all, be-all at center.
He's not a difference maker on that offensive line.
He's a serviceable player at best. That's who he is.
He's not one step down from Jeff Saturday back in the day.
And listen, again, like we said yesterday, if Buffalo's kicking Miami's ass, and it's the second half, and it's in the late third quarter, and this, by the way, this is what I think is going to end up happening.
You're anticipating this scenario?
I'm anticipating that what they think is going to happen is not going to happen, because he's thinking that Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to play like he played last week. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to stink the place out and throw a bunch of interceptions. I really do, because that's who he is. That's who he's been.
What's your score after the first quarter?
It's not a matter of score after first quarter. What I mean is, if they're down by 15 or 20 points in the late third, and Ryan isn't doing anything like he wasn't in the first two games, now you bring the kid in and garbage time, and you still don't get a good assessment, because now he's picking up yards where Ryan Tannehill was picking up yards.
Because Ryan, you're not playing the real Buffalo.
Yeah, Ryan always used to get some yards in the fourth quarter, throw a touchdown or two, and all that crap, and beef up his stat even better for the following week. Well, he played well towards the end of the game. Yeah, well, it was prevent defense at that time.
I have a great question for you guys.
What's that? Go ahead.
The Patriots. What's your opinion on them this year?
Patriots? Super Bowl. As
Bowl
long as Tom Brady is in tune, they'll be in the Super Bowl.
7 rings this year.
Yeah.
That defense is just too good.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
You know, that defense is just.
And what about Belichick?
Yeah. So we got a listener out here that's asking about the Patriots. And so the Patriots are definitely a team that should be in the Super Bowl. But talking about this situation, when you talk about the development of a quarterback, the development of a team, this is where I want to see Rosen. I saw him struggle last week in making quick decisions and the pressure. You got to keep putting him in that position. Right? When you fell off the bike when you were a kid, would your dad or your big brother or whoever was teaching you get back on the bike again? And you'd fall again.
Brush yourself off.
And you get back up again. And you fall again. And then eventually you stayed on that bike. Well, we got to find out if the kid can stay on the bike. Because if he can't, I just talked about Kenyon Drake. Are we going to do the same thing? Are we going to go through a 16-game schedule and say, well, we didn't play Josh Rosen enough. We don't know what he is. I'm not sure. Why? Because the coach went with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, come on, man. What are we doing? You're wasting your time. And I get that there might be some issues on the O-line, but the O-line issues were there with Daniel Kilgore or not. Why? Because he's not Dwight Stevenson or Jim Langer. That's why. He's not a center that you build around. He's a guy you're dying to replace also. You're just using him for now because you have to. You have no choice. They don't have a lot of options, and he's under contract right now. But give me a break. Daniel Kilgore is not the guy that's going to save you. But you you got to find out what Josh Rosen is. Because that's kind of been a vicious cycle on this team with players. Sometimes they don't play enough, and then you don't find out who they are. And then there's that one case where they played one guy 7 years too much, and they still kept him around. Can't wait to see that start in Tennessee. That's gonna.
You know what I'm thinking?
That's gonna. Those people are just. I mean,
too
tight.
Too long of an audition. Now it's too short of an audition.
Right.
Like,
it's like you're not getting it right, and you just wasted a trade going a second way. Thing. I know that the coach said this is what's best for the team. You know what was best for the team? If Kalen Ballage could have held on to all those balls that Rosen threw him. You know what's best for the team? If if Jakeem Grant would have held on to that deep ball that Josh Rosen threw. You know what's best for the team? If Preston Williams hangs on to a couple touchdowns that Josh Rosen threw him. You know what's best for the team? If Devontae Parker hung on to a couple deep balls that Josh Rosen threw him. You know what's also best for the team? You block better for Josh Rosen. There's a lot of things around the team that could help out Josh Rosen, but we're going to pick on Josh Rosen being the only thing. Come on, man. If everybody would have caught the balls that they're supposed to catch and actually execute like the quarterback executed at that moment, then you wouldn't be benching him that easy. Because his stats would look a lot better because everybody else did their jobs. Is Josh Rosen doing his job? No. Okay, I'm not going to tell you he's perfect. I'm not going to tell you he's good. He's had a lot of questionable moments, and he had a terrible game this past week. I mean, he was god awful, and he deserved to get benched.
Who was worse? Who was worse? Him or the offensive line?
No, he was still bad. He was still bad because he had opportunities to make plays, and then he forced other ones when he shouldn't. And so that was my problem with him.
His choice selection.
Yeah, and I got to see that get better under duress, under pressure. Okay, you're not
there's
going
to be plenty of that this Sunday.
You're not going to get a great evaluation of any quarterback. It's easy to say when he's under pressure, but if he's got a perfect line and a perfect running back and perfect wide receivers and a great tight end, okay, so he can facilitate. But I need to know how are you going to react when there's chaos? That's when I know I got a quarterback, a guy that can respond under chaos. That's kind of part of this game. So yes, I see Josh Rosen in the worst possible positions. That's how I've seen Russell Wilson play. He plays in great moments years ago when he had a dominant team and he had a good line and he had Marshawn Lynch punishing them. And then all of a sudden, no more Marshawn. The line got terrible. He had no running game. He had no protection. He still balled.
Russell Wilson's show.
Yeah. And it's still happening to this day at times. Because look at his receiving core. I mean, come on. Tyler Lockett's a nice player. He's not a number one in any team whatsoever. That guy's not supposed to be your number one. They don't even have they've never had a number one there under Russell Wilson. You realize that? They've never given him a number one wide receiver. They tried to give him a number one tight end. It just didn't work with Jimmy Graham. I don't know why, whatever, it didn't work. But, I mean, Doug Baldwin, a slot guy, has been his best receiver. So that's see Josh Rosen under these conditions. Because I find out more about the quarterback under these conditions. Because if you can make plays, if you can move the team, if you can stay away from mistakes, then that tells me something. Listen, it's like what we're doing now with the Dolphins. They're the second or third least penalized team in the NFL. That's an amazing job by Brian Flores and his staff. Because when you're undermanned and you don't have the same talent that your opponent does, you then start to commit penalties to try to make up for it.
You get desperate.
And somehow or another, they're not doing enough of those. And they're outmatched in every single game, including the Redskins. And so that's a compliment to them. That's a compliment to the team. They've adjusted and they have stayed disciplined, even knowing that they are outmatched every single week. And most of those players are looking across the line going, that guy's better than I am.
And that discipline thing, man, that's all coaching.
That's all coaching.
Bottom line.
Of course, it's all coaching.
Keeping your head and mentally staying grounded.
Yep.
You know?
Yep, it's all coaching. And so that's where you got to credit them. And that's why Rosen needs to be in there no matter what. You got to keep putting him in there to see if he's tough enough to survive it, to see if he can somehow thrive under it. Because if he can thrive under it, then all of a sudden you got yourself a quarterback. But if he keeps succumbing to the pressure, and if he keeps failing under pressure, then you know what you got already. Now, Chris Perkins might be 1,000% right here, because yesterday Flores said, hey, we've had him for a while now. We've had him all off season. The way he described the amount of time he has spent with Rosen, it's been enough for who he is already. And that's really weird, because he's only played a couple of games for you. And how do you measure somebody in mini camps or training camp? You really can't. And especially when they're brand new to the system, so they're actually learning during those training camps and the mini camps. Next year, if Rosen comes back and he's in the same system, he's not learning anything. Everything is natural to him. Everything is second nature at that point. So he's going to be more comfortable. And again, you don't find out about somebody in a comfortable situation. You find out about human beings, right, in a moment of adversity. How are they going to respond to the adversity? How are they going to treat you during that adversity? That's when you find out about people, right? It's easy to deal with somebody else when it's successful.
When everything's peaches and cream,
yeah,
everything's great.
Beautiful.
It's easy to function.
Right. But when business is going tough, when you've had a
south,
bad moment in your friendship,
up against the wall,
when somebody made a mistake they didn't mean to make, but you got to kind of fight through it, then how do you respond at that moment? And that's when you find out about your friend, your loved one, your boss, whatever it is, right? Then you know what you're dealing with, because when the crap hits the fan, as they say, that's when we find out who you really are.
You know, it's just something that just jumped in my head, and it's two letter word. Caldwell, man. Caldwell, he was here.
He is. Matt Caldwell will be here at 3 o'clock, the president of the Florida Panthers. What Caldwell? What are you talking about?
Coach Caldwell.
Oh!
Like how scenario maybe.
Apparently, Flores talks to him every day.
That's what he said yesterday.
Because he talks to him every day. So, the shame is that he's not here. And maybe Rosen would be better. Maybe he's the one telling Rosen. Maybe he's the one telling Flores, "Hey, Rosen's not the guy." Maybe
the fact that they communicate every day, and like
maybe he sees the film, the game film, the practice film, and says, "I gotta. You know what, Brian? He's not the guy." And you sure, Jim? Yeah, I'm telling you. He's not the guy. And so maybe that's the case.
That's an interesting thing you're saying here, man.
I mean, the fact that you have benched the kid this quickly, and here's the other thing that has to have gone on, okay? There has to have been a conversation between Chris Grier and Brian Flores about this decision, because it's Grier and company that made the trade. Okay? And I got to tell you something. I'm not going to complain about it either, because for years I've been saying, for years I wanted an organizational enema. It's exactly what they've done. Last year I said, fire Tannenbaum, fire Gase, and put Greer in place. That's what they did. Okay? And for years I've always said, go try to get quarterbacks any way possible. If you fail, go get another one. If you fail, go get another one. And they got a second-round pick, made it 2 second-rounders, and made it a quarterback. Whether it works or it doesn't, I can't complain. It sucks to lose it, but it's. You remember you
got to keep trying. Man.
You made 1 second-rounder into 2, so you did not lose the second-rounder. You just deferred it to 1 year, and it wasn't going to make any difference this year. You're going to be bad anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So you deferred it. You still kept your second-rounder, and you went and got a quarterback with it. I'm good with that. Whether it works or it doesn't, that's fine. But I want to feel like it's a failure already. And that's where, again, we go back to the Kenyon Drake situation. I can't sign you to a long-term contract because I don't know who you are. Well, with Josh Rosen, I don't want to give up on you yet because I still don't know who you are yet. And I've been wild. And I'm in my 50s. So I've watched quarterbacks that did not get it early on. And it took them a couple of years to come on, whether it's Terry Bradshaw, who was terrible early on, okay, whether it's Drew Brees, who was terrible early on. Rich Gannon took like 8 or 9 years to finally figure it out. Favre was in Atlanta and inaccurate, and then eventually made it over. I mean,
Steve Young looked great in LA Express, then went to Tampa, looked horrible, went back out to San Fran, and blew up.
Right. So I've watched this story over and over for years in the NFL. Not every quarterback comes right out of the draft and starts balling. That's just ridiculous. Kurt Warner had to go bag groceries playing the Arena League before he finally figured it out, dude.
You know, can I compound your thought? Think about this, like you talked about Greer, Flores possibly talking, Caldwell adding his 2 cents. Here, Buffalo's in our division, and with the problems he had with Washington going up against a better defense, well, you would want it like, hey, give the kid a chance, let's see it. On top of the fact that we're going to face, like, you have to get through Buffalo. They're in our division. We're going to see them twice a year, every year. Right. This is a really good test. If this is your guy, you would want to see this.
Right.
Exactly what you're saying, compounded with these thoughts, man.
And in the fourth,
you know what? You may be right. This may be Rosen. The verdict may be in already.
And the guys that were writing all that stuff, which I didn't believe it. I'm wrong then. That the assessment is over already. I thought that's ridiculous. And I still find it ridiculous. Because I'm not sure that it's over. I don't know enough about this kid. I need to see more, and what I don't need to see is Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't need to see that guy. Nice guy and everything. He's a fantastic human being. God bless him. But as a quarterback, you can have him, man. Because I know he's never going to be the answer. And, conveniently, even Brian Flores is doing this, and it's all convenience. You're playing him based on the only thing he did last week. You're not playing him because he was playing well throughout, but then you put him on the bench because it was time to see the youngster. No. You fast-track the youngster back to starting because Ryan Fitzpatrick sucked. He was terrible the first couple of games.
A total no-show the first 2 games.
It was third game too that they had to. That's when Rosen came in.
You know what? Yes, Dallas.
And then kept the job after that. So he was terrible. A lot longer than he was good. So I don't understand that either.
There's no rationale here.
Yeah, because his history. The guy can play a good game and then play 3 bad games and then go on a roll for 3 good games and then play 5 bad games after that. And he can play a great quarter and he can play a terrible quarter. That's why I'm kind of expecting a terrible performance from him this week. Especially against the team he played for and knows him.
Hey man, Buffalo made Brady not look very Brady-like. Okay?
Yeah.
So imagine what he's gonna do to Fitzpatrick.
Just this whole thing that, come on, man. You're gonna. I want the youngster in there. That's what I want.
By the way, we are exactly up on an hour, sir.
All right. Let me tell you a little bit about Choice Mortgage Bank, because Michael Kodsey and the great people at Choice Mortgage Bank, listen, they've been proud sponsors of ours for over 9 years now. Our listeners call all the time, and right now, folks, get out of that bad deal. Let's get you into a much better deal. We can get you into a fixed mortgage rate under 4%. Military veterans, 0 down, 100% financing. They do it all: wholesale, conventional, residential loans, condo loans, reverse mortgages, jumbo loans, FHA, VA loans. Call them right now for a free qualification and consultation. 561-441-2730. That's the owner's personal cell number, so you can call Michael Kodsey and a staff that is second to none. 561-441-2730. Rates and terms subject to change, daily without notice, equal housing lender, and MLS 166254. It's Choice Mortgage Bank.
What do you think of Aaron Rodgers this year?
Go to the bathroom. We'll be right back.
You all right?
Yeah.
Sounded like you need something to drink.
Yeah, I need water.
What do you think of Aaron Rodgers? Think Aaron Rodgers is still good?
Huh?
Aaron Rodgers, what do you think? He's still good? He still got it?
Oh yeah.
I actually did a TV show with him in San Diego called I Get That a Lot. It was a TV special, and I was working out in the gym over there, and he was the guest. He was supposed to be a, how do you say? He was supposed to be an employee there.
Oh, it's a
It was
skit.
a real good skit, yeah. And the thing is, it goes like, well, oh, you look familiar. And I said, oh, so who do I look like? I said, oh, you look like Aaron Rodgers. And he's like, I get that a lot.
Okay.
They did it. Paris Hilton.
Hey.
Yes, sir. You know what? I think I do. Here. Okay, you know what? Here. When you go in, behind the passenger seat, my little gray bag, you always see with the ties. It's in there. In that drawer. tell me when you're ready. Yep. I think this is the it. Hold on. Am I good? Hey, I had a backup song.
All right, let's do it. All right, let's rock it. We are back here at Toyota of Hollywood, of course, at 1841 State Road 7 in Hollywood. And remember, if you have any questions, any comments, send them in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. When we get to that segment, we'll answer. We will read your questions and your comments and all that good stuff. And we'll get that going for you. We got the Heat taking on the Magic tonight at 7 o'clock. We got a little baseball tonight, a little Yankees and Astros. Zach Greinke taking on Tanaka. That'll be at 8:08. Every time I see 8:08, I just think of 808 State. That's what I think of.
And Moses.
Moses, baby. Yes. Good stuff.
Do you know what Tanaka's ERA is as a playoffs?
0.
No, but it's like 1.59. The guy really, truly shows up in the playoffs.
Well, he better show up tonight because he's got Greinke on the other side.
Got to.
Yeah, definitely. Big time. And he better give them a lot of innings. That's what the starters better do for the Yankees. Because if you are going to play 4 straight, you do not want to burn the hell out of that bullpen. That's for sure. The positive that people don't enough about it is that the Yankee bullpen got another day's rest yesterday, actually, by not playing. So their arms are saved a little, but still 4 days in a row. They used like 5 relievers, I want to say, in the last game. So they used a lot of guys.
Yeah. You know what? That's because of Severino. Realize he only got 1 or 2 starts.
Yeah.
Coming back from the injury.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's some crazy stuff they pulled. And it's pretty much worked. We'll see if they can get past the Astros because they're probably the better team as it is. So we got that going on tonight. The Pen will take on the Avalanche at 7 o'clock. What else do we have going on? We will have Matt Caldwell, the president of the Florida Panthers, at 3. Tom Garfinkel, the vice chairman, president, and CEO of the Miami Dolphins, and of course Hard Rock Stadium, which Hard Rock Stadium is just absolutely awesome. Tom Garfinkel will join us at 3:30. We thank Steve Ostrov and Herbie Lopez out here at Toyota of Hollywood for being a great sponsor of ours out here on the program. We appreciate that. I get a text, tweet from Danny K13 or Danny Dolphin 13 on Twitter. He says, not loving how this team is being coached. Lots of red flags. Dude, they're 2nd or 3rd in the Yankees. I mean, I get it. Listen, you want to complain about something? Complain that they suck. Complain that they don't have enough talent. Complain that they're not going to win. But man, pay attention to the damn games at least. They're actually not getting penalized a lot. Yeah, are there timely penalties that are really bad? Yeah. Jakeem Grant has a long run, and there's Durham Smythe with a hold. And the return for like 50, 60 yards is called back. It happens. I get it. It's happened a couple of times that there have been a couple of bad penalties at bad times. But when you say not loving how this team is being coached, lots of red flags, brother, you're not listening, you're not paying attention, you're not watching the same games. And speaking of being coached, let's see. The team didn't show up at all in the first 2 games. The defense showed up against Dallas into the third quarter. The team showed up offensively and defensively against the Chargers for a half. And then last week against Washington, they were in the game for 4 quarters. I think that's called progress. That your team has actually gotten better and more competitive as it's gone on. And you have very little talent compared to even Washington. Look, I may not agree with the way Flores handled Kenny Stills with the stupid Jay-Z songs. I may not agree with him benching Fitzpatrick right now for Rosen, but overall, he's actually done a pretty decent coaching job with this team because it has no talent. And the fact that they've been competitive now as of late, I don't know, man. I know San Diego, the Chargers, Los Angeles, they're probably going to be in the playoffs. And they were competitive. They hung in there for a half with them. They're not supposed to. They weren't supposed to hang in there with Washington either. Washington, as bad as they are, they're just poorly managed. But they have way more talent than Miami. So I'm not sure what game you're watching, Danny K13, but you're really not watching the coaching staff and not paying attention to the team. You're just shooting off the mouth without actually even knowing what the hell you're talking about. Because that's what when you're one of the least penalized teams in the NFL, then you're doing a pretty decent job. What we got here? Sounds like they're playing Bob Skaggs in the background. Yeah, there was some Bob Skaggs earlier on. Yes, they have some good tunes, man. The tunes, they got Toto, which, by the way, did you read Toto's calling it quits? They're wrapping it up. Lukather, Steve Lukather, I think is how it is pronounced. But Toto is wrapping it up. Speaking of,
like the end.
Yeah, that's it. They're done. They're retired. They're done. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Exactly. Let's see. This is a stupid move by Flores. You never know. So Steve Young would be a bust to Flores. He didn't start so hot either. Apparently, you're not allowed to fail. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Now, I'll say to all of this that I just talked about right before the break. What if Jim Caldwell says, stop wasting your time, move on? That's the only thing that if I know Caldwell said that, I might go, okay, you know what? Now I'm done.
The way Flores talks.
Now I'm done. Yeah.
He's on the pulse. He knows the pulse of the team.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on. And obviously Caldwell is engaging him because they're talking every day. If Caldwell's not engaging him, you know what I mean? If it's a one-sided conversation.
Caldwell is seeing seeing everything. Exactly. All the practice film they're sending it to him. He's seeing all of that. He's
this
consulting.
Little thinking that you taking us further down the possible rabbit hole, dude, you might be onto something here. That maybe Caldwell is the guy.
I mean, well, he's the guy that you.
And why would Flores?
That's why I was excited about this coaching staff because of Jim Caldwell.
Has Flores any him and Caldwell talking?
No, that was only because the reporter brought it up. I forgot which guy asked. Good question to ask at that time.
Yeah, it's been a while
we haven't heard anything.
Mentioned.
Yeah, so that's exactly what he said. We haven't talked about him in a while, but have you had any contact with Jim Caldwell? And he goes, well, in fact, I talk to him every day. So that's where you.
If he's talking every day, he knows what's going on right now on the beat.
Yeah. And Caldwell knows quarterbacks. That's one thing that I would, if Jim Caldwell says, yeah, Rosen's not the guy, I would be, wow, that would be pretty depressing. I'm basically telling you I don't trust anybody else. It's what I'm telling you.
There goes that whole idea of trading that very first pick.
Yeah. No, well, the way he's handling it, there's no way they're going to trade that first pick. They're going to want to trade they'll trade one of those first rounders, but it won't be the first one. That's for sure. You save that first one for the player you want and you need to take. There's no killer salaries now, so you're not paying that. It's all slotted. It's nothing that breaks the bank anymore. And plus, in their case, they have so much cap space next year, that's not going to be even a concern in any way, shape, or form. But if Caldwell has said, yeah, no, kid doesn't have it, he's not the guy, that's where it gets ugly. That's where you have to say, okay, wait a minute, what's going on here? What are we doing? Because the way Caldwell approached it yesterday, it was basically like the kid has no future. That's what I got from that conversation when he was at the podium. And he doesn't have to twist it any other way, like Doug Peterson had to do it the other day when, he was, oh, well, we're going to go down to Dallas and win that game. Well, wait a minute, did you guarantee it? No, I never said guarantee. No, I know you didn't say guarantee, but you kind of guaranteed it, you know what I mean? No, it's a confidence thing. Which I did like how he spun it. I did like that. It was crafty, the way he spun something. You know what I'm saying?
I used to do that. Sports.
I got you. All right, nice. So anyway, it was pretty cool that, you look at the way he spun that and tried to massage it and think that it wasn't something that, we were going to fall for it, in other words. Which we're not. And I'm sure not that Jason Garrett is probably the last coach that I would find intimidating in the NFL. So if I'm Doug Peterson, that's probably the team that I do want to make a guarantee against. Come on, it's the Cowboys. They haven't proven to be tough. They haven't proven to be consistent. And they certainly haven't proven to be winners. And Jason Garrett, hell, that guy's trying to find high fives or low fives from his players coming off the field, and they didn't want any part of it. Did you see that video last week? That was funny. He's trying to get high fives from his guys, and they're like, get the hell out of my face.
You said it earlier in the week, and I felt the same way. I was actually pulling for the Jets.
I was pulling for the Jets because I wanted them to get a couple wins to get out of the way of the Dolphins.
Right.
That's really what it was. It wasn't really about
it. A nice
Once they get the 2 wins, then I'm done. Then the Jets can lose 14.
Right.
Because Miami has no shot at getting. They're not even getting 1. I still stand by that. But
since
I got no shot.
We'll see where we're at. That's a ways away.
Okay? And you can tell that it was working really well now that I think about it, because if they can pick up losing to better teams. If you look at their schedule, it's like that. It's like tonight.
Started with New Orleans.
It's like tonight. Denver has 2 wins, but if you look at the 2 teams they've beaten, they haven't beaten good teams. That's their thing. They've taken
but
advantage.
You know what? What's the situation with Kansas City? And he is my.
They got to win
I got
this
a decision tonight. Mahomes, man. I got a decision tonight.
Yeah. But who's your other guy?
That's the thing. I don't have. It's a 16-player roster, and. You
don't have a backup quarterback?
I haven't picked one.
So who's available?
I may have to go with Stafford. He's kind of the best guy out there.
That's not bad.
He's averaging about 18 to 20 points a game.
Be able to get at least 1 or 2 touchdowns from him.
But at the risk of sitting Mahomes, and I'm in a tough, dude, I'm 6-0, and I'm in a tough matchup. The projected score is like 4 or 5 points difference.
You can afford to lose.
Thanks a lot, man.
You're 6-0. You're fine. 6-0, you can afford to lose, right? I mean, it's think of the team that's 1-5. That one can't afford to lose.
Here's the fantasy maven that's all about perfection with fantasy, and you're like, go ahead and take a loss week 7. Don't worry about it.
What can I tell you? I had a draft this year, and I didn't
go
to the.
You're a piece of work, by the way.
I didn't go to the draft. I was busy. I was actually working, doing this stuff, and putting all of this together. So I didn't do the draft. So I autopiloted the draft, okay? And this shows you how funny fantasy is. I believe I am is this week 7 coming up or week 8?
Yes, sir. That would be week 7.
Week 7. So I'm 5-2.
And you have not made a roster move?
I can't
a
get
roster adjustment?
No, here's the best
starter
thing.
adjustment?
Nothing.
Have you pulled guys out for bye weeks?
Nothing.
You
I've never
what?
touched the roster. I don't even know my entire roster.
Okay, what Mickey Mouse league are you playing against?
No.
You got bye week guys in there.
No. It's a tough team. It's a tough league because it's a 14-team league. It's just
flown over and sprinkled that
that's
fairy
all it is.
fantasy dust.
That's all it is. It's pure luck. And by the way, half the game is luck anyway.
Can I say this?
Only half of it is skill.
This exact crap you're talking is just the thing to drive. You can dot every I, cross every, do everything,
and everything will go wrong.
And man, if you don't get a little luck, you ain't going nowhere.
Right. That's how it normally is, man.
And you know how frustrating that is? Do you remember how many hours we just spent in the first few years in just going over and just rechurning it? Man, you want to talk about mental masturbation, waste of time?
Yeah, it's exactly it.
For no luck to show up and get nothing.
5-2, and I haven't even touched I haven't even seen the entire roster. I can't get in. I tried to get in and I couldn't get in. I've done it a couple times.
You forgot your password.
No, I have my password. It's just I don't know what it is that it didn't jive.
Oh, your lack of chiming in. It's
I don't know what it did.
Control of your team, maybe.
I don't know what it did, but it just I have no interest in it anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I'm just done with it. I'll send in the check, but I'm actually doing it on, which is crazy.
You're on your way to the playoffs, man. You send your They're going to be sending a check to you, buddy.
No, it's got to turn around. It's got to go the other way because I haven't even touched it. I haven't made a change. Those bye weeks have got to bury you, man.
You do know the next 6 weeks, getting obviously to 13 being the last. I'm assuming last week of the season.
Yes.
You're going to have to keep us up to date on the
I'll keep you up to date on it.
Of your team.
I'll find out.
This is crazy.
I'll ask somebody in the league to tell me the record because I can't even get into the standings. They're the ones that tell me, like, you keep winning. It's like, really? Okay. Whatever, go ahead. Have fun. Knock yourself out. It's a beautiful thing. All right, let's...
There's a bunch of guys in your league that are killing themselves and super pissed at hearing about this. You know that, right?
Yeah, probably. They're probably... It's not like...
Dude, you just threw salt on wounds, bro.
Right, it's just...
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I've actually been in the Super Bowl the last 2 years in that 14-team league.
This asshole's trying
and won it.
He's trying to help us now, and he's still 5-2.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. I'm not even trying, and I'm actually competing. We're in Hollywood for Toyota of Hollywood, one of our proud sponsors, but not our only sponsor in Hollywood. Dandy Donuts in Hollywood. Actually, our second largest download city is Hollywood. Number 1 is Miami. Number 2 is Hollywood. And, of course, Bobby, Frank, Laura, all the great people out there at Hollywood. And they've been a proud sponsor of our show now for about 3 years now. But I've been telling you about Dandy Donuts for, 10 years. Way before they were a sponsor of ours. And people would walk in and they'd tell Bobby and Frank and Laura, "Oh no, Big O talks about you." And so eventually I met them a couple years ago and they were like, "You've been talking about us for years." And guess what? Now they became a sponsor a few years back and they're still a sponsor. And I tell you got to go to 102 North 28th Avenue, the most delicious donuts on the planet. The glazed donuts, they make real honey inside that glaze. And everything is baked with exceptional ingredients, from the croissants to the French rolls to the biscuits. You're going to love it, man. The breakfast, those jumbo eggs with the thick sliced bacon, the Black Forest ham, got TVs there. They serve lunch. Go on down to 102 North 28th Avenue, right off of Hollywood Boulevard and 995. You go about 3 blocks east, right across from Miami Subs. Tell them that Big O sent you, and trust me, Bobby, Frank, Laura will take care of you. Go to the social media pages. You'll get really hungry on the Instagram page, Dandy_Hollywood, or of course go to the website, Dandy Hollywood, and only the Hollywood location, dandyhollywood.com.
used to be an athlete? You used to be an athlete?
Huh?
Were you an athlete?
Back in the day.
Really?
Funny,
What'd you do?
listening to Todd
Football,
Rundgren,
baseball.
ironically, nominee for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year.
Oh, yes. Yes, you're right. You are correct, sir.
I think he needs to be on the ballot a couple more times with some of the people that he's up against. Kraftwerk,
Yeah.
Pat Benatar, Depeche Mode, Def Leppard, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. The Doobie Brothers.
Yeah, that's automatic for me, but we'll see. I bet they don't get in. And if you want, our other show is the Sound Check, and you can check it out. We put together an episode yesterday, almost 2 hours actually, and we had a great
kicked
interview.
some serious butt, by the way, man.
Thank you,
yesterday.
brother.
I mean, serious. You brought it hard, bro.
Thank you, bro. We had some fun yesterday. We had Tommy Anthony from Santana joining us. We broke down the nominees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We also gave you some music news. A new band that I like a lot. I'm a big fan of theirs. In fact, I'm hoping to have the singer on in our next episode of the Sound Check, which should happen this weekend. We should record another episode of the Sound Check. I know that this show is daily, so you kind of get your sports fix and all that good stuff on a daily basis. I can't promise you that the Sound Check will become daily, but we're going to try to make it at least 2 to 3 times a week if I can, and get to that point. And it's going to be on the road. We got some plans. We're working on all of that. All this kind of stuff just doesn't happen overnight. I would love for it to happen overnight, but it just doesn't happen overnight. But it's just one of those things.
Two-man operation, man. You know, there's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah. Although we've been very fortunate, there are several other people.
Carlos Beccari particularly, yes. Immensely.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why we're up and running.
Yes.
Listen, tomorrow, speaking of the Black Moods, the break will be accomplished.
I never said the Black Moods. I was kind of teasing it so they can, I just said new band that I like.
Well,
but you kind of gave it away. But yes, the Black Moods.
Well, you want them to go get a little test drive on YouTube.
Yes.
They got some very entertaining videos.
They're just excellent.
It's super cool guys.
It's
really cool
excellent. And we got to hang out with the whole band after the show on Friday night in Fort Myers, and it was a blast. A week ago almost, a week ago from tomorrow, we were there in Fort Myers to go see Adelita's Way, because we had Rick DeJesus on, which we have a terrific interview with Rick DeJesus also on the Sound Check. So check it out. We are growing the Sound Check. The link is on our Twitter page. You can go to our Facebook pages there too, and you can search for it, of course, at Big O's Sound Check, and you can look it up and subscribe and follow. And it's on most platforms. It's on iTunes and Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, same as you do with this show. Same thing. It's on the same platforms. The only thing we're not doing yet is doing Sound Checks live. We will. It's coming, but Gotta set it all up, and then eventually we'll get it done. Remember, if you want to reach out to us anytime on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Some of the other things that I definitely want to talk about. I saw where the talk of Bradley Beal to the Miami Heat, I guess, is over now. We're done. Okay, no more articles, right? And here's where the big three was the greatest thing to happen to the Miami Heat, one of the greatest things to happen in South Florida sports history, right? We'll have to go with the Dolphins early 70s and then the Heat, right? 1 and 2. Because I'm still going to go with the Dolphins because they won 2 of 3, and I think they lost 1 game in 2 years or something like that. So I'm going to give underachieved a little bit. And so I'll go with the slightly, not by much. I'll go with the Dolphins and then the Heat. So you can say it's either the first or the second best thing that's ever happened to this town. But I can also say this. It's also the worst thing that's happened to this town in another way. Do you know why? It has spoiled you to expect. You are at a point now as a Heat fan that Riley has to recruit another big three. You know, and we're making it sound like it's something that's really easy. And so then what do? Writers are writing articles that Bradley Beal and that they will take on John Wall's contract in order to Jimmy, and even though Wall's no good, it'll be Beal and Jimmy, and then they can run away and they can go find somebody else. Eventually when Wall's contract expires, which by the way, when it does expire, Jimmy is useless at that point. But it's almost like the next article will come out, then now it'll be the Greek Freak will want out because he'll want to come to Miami. And look, I know Miami is a great place to live. I love living here. I've lived here all my life. I know Pat Riley is exceptional and has been exceptional. I know that Mickey Arison is a great owner. But I'm also seeing that the Brooklyn Nets are adding people too. And that the Los Angeles Clippers have now risen from the ashes. And so it's not just Miami anymore. There are other places that these players are going. And for us to assume is going to, boom, here comes another big three, it's ridiculous. But we make it sound like it's going to happen, like it's automatic. We make it sound like Riley brings in big threes all the time. And it was Dwayne Wade that helped Riley bring LeBron, bring Bosh here, because they were already friends. So it was kind of the perfect storm. Two players that were frustrated. They couldn't get over the hump. One in Chris Bosh made the playoffs half the time, couldn't get out of the first round. The other guy couldn't win a championship, needed it all of a sudden, and then their friend, and they're in the Olympics, and they're setting it all up, and they're all that, and then perfect storm. And it comes together here. And then we think that that's the norm. And that every other player is going to want to come here and become the next big three. And we are putting unrealistic expectations on Pat Riley. We are, because it's not happening. And then they're desperate to make it happen, and they're so desperate that look what they've done over the last 3-4 years. Riley has done things that are so un-Riley-like. Contract, giving Dion Waiters an irresponsible contract, giving James Johnson a ridiculous contract, matching Tyler Johnson's contract. I mean, some of the worst decisions, the kind of decisions that Mike Tannenbaum would make if he was a basketball executive. Because he's driven crazy by the expectations of getting the big three and living up to what he's already accomplished one time. And we got to get off of this already. We got to stop. You know what was the other narrative this offseason? Well, no, guys are going to want to play with Jimmy Butler. How do you know that? Where are they? I didn't see him bring anybody else. I'm sorry. And he left Chicago, left Minnesota, left Philadelphia, and now he's here. And he couldn't find a way to stay in any of the other spots. And then he took the max money here to be the number one guy instead of staying there. It's really odd.
The rest of the league got word that he likes to practice at 3 in the morning, and they said, man, that guy's crazy. Forget it. I don't want to play with him.
Yeah. Come on. I just don't. To me, that's where I think we have jumped the shark, as they say. We have gotten to a point now that I don't know what the hell we're doing.
Oh, you know something? If you think about it, Riley's pulled this 3 times. Zoe, Hardaway, little team that he put together that if it wasn't for Michael Jordan, we probably get to a finals.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
He put that together.
Yeah, but that's not a big 3.
No, but what I'm saying, like weaving his magic, bringing a group and getting, you know what I mean?
Right.
He's done it 3 times.
But not big 3.
You know what? The
not
perfect
3
storm.
superstars.
You pointed it out.
Not 3 Hall of Famers.
Them guys getting to hang out and practice for the Olympics and on a day
They're friends,
interacting and talking.
Friends.
You know what I mean?
Perfect.
You are so.
It was just a perfect storm. Everything.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Everything was perfect.
Yep.
Bosh wasn't happy in Toronto. LeBron was tired of carrying Cleveland, and then Wade needed some help. And Riley had the culture set, and the franchise was a great franchise, and they had opened the cap space up in 08 and 09 and ready for 010 or for 10, and there you go. And so everything came to a perfect conclusion, and we think that it's always going to be that, and it's not.
Like it's easy. It's easy.
And it's Brian Grant and Eddie Jones not living up to stuff at times and injuries. It's Zoe with a kidney ailment. It's Tim Hardaway with Achilles issues and plantar fasciitis and whatever, and all kinds of setbacks. And that's what really life is all about. Because they've always had to overcome all of those things all throughout their existence. And then for one moment, for a couple of years, things went well. But since then, it's been more adversity. It's been blood clots. It's been bad contracts. It's been injuries also. I mean, it's always been like that. And we kind of expect it to be the perfect storm all the time. And we expect them to go out and recruit those elite players every single year. Oh yeah, no, we're going to get Durant. Oh yeah, no, we're going to get the Greek Freak. Oh, we're going to get this. We're going to get that. We're going to trade for Bradley Beal. And it just doesn't happen. Because it's not as simple as everybody made it out to be. Getting 3 superstars to come in to one team, that's a very difficult task, because some of them have to check their egos at the door at the same time. And that's really difficult. And Kyrie Irving, I think, kind of checked his ego with Durant because he realized in Boston that he wasn't a number 1. And he was smart enough to say, I need to team up with a number 1, but I can't stick my tail between my legs and go back to LeBron, so let me go find Kevin Durant. Because he's already, the way he's talked, he's kind of set it up already that he knows he's not the guy, and he knows that they're not going to be the team this year, and he knows that next year is the year for the Brooklyn Nets, because that's when they get Durant, and that's when they have their true leader, because, of course, the guy they currently have is not the true leader, because Kyrie Irving's a hell of a player. He's not a superstar. All-stars aren't the guys that carry franchises.
He's not John Taylor to Jerry Rice.
Right.
And Jimmy, you want him, or to Jordan.
And
want him.
And mind you, Jimmy Butler is not a superstar. So you recruited and paid a guy superstar money, and he's an all-star. So he's not a big 3. He's a big 3 now because Miami has no choice. But he's not the big 3. Jimmy Butler would not do what Chris Bosh did and take a back seat like he did to the other 2 guys. Because that's what happens when you get 3 together. Somebody's going to have to take it back, going to have to play a lesser role. Somebody's going to have to be more of a facilitator. Somebody's going to have to be more of a team player. It's not that easy, folks. And we keep thinking and we keep expecting the Miami Heat to put together a big 3, and it's just not right. And you're just setting your... Notice how emotionally you set yourself up for failure every single time. It's kind of like the blind-ass fan that I've had fun with over the years that calls me all the time and says, well, no, the Dolphins will win 12 games this year. They'll win 14 games. We had some of them this year. We had some blind ass fans that thought, oh no, they're still a 6, 7, 8 win team. I'm laughing at them. Like, really? Have you seen the talent on this roster? And Trill and Fitzpatrick weren't going to help a damn thing. They weren't going to win one more game with them. Okay? So the Tunsil and Fitzpatrick trade made no difference in the win column. They were still going to be pretty much winless the entire season. Because it's a really bad going on with the Heat, and I feel bad for the Heat fan. There's a lot of them that they're just not realistic, and their expectations are ridiculous, and that's because the franchise spoiled you for a moment, for 4 years, and they've spoiled you for 20-something years because they constantly win. They go to the playoffs all the time, and they've won 3 titles now. So they've spoiled you. But they spoiled you to a point where you're unrealistic and you think it's your right to expect stars to come here. And it's just not the case.
My, how far we have come from the Chappelle and Cunningham days.
Yeah. And look, this year will be fun. This year you'll have a better team. This year you'll have a playoff team. But it's not more than that. It's not more than a team that's going to get into the first round, and that's it. They're not even going to get to the second round.
There's no incredible trade before the trade deadline, and puts us over the top when we're competing with Philly.
No, not at all. Not even close. Because there isn't a player available like that is going to take over and be better in order for you to do that. Because you need a superstar here. Jimmy's an all-star, not a superstar. Yeah, he's perfect for the Heat culture. We can go with all the cliches. I know he's a super hard worker and all that stuff. That's what made him what he is. Because he's not as gifted as a superstar, but he has worked his ass off to become an all-star. And you got to respect that.
Man, I can remember when he was with the Bulls. Man, that guy just like energy, nonstop. Almost, you know who reminded me watching? The way Barkley would just be 101% on both sides of the court and just nonstop. Allen Iverson, man, go to the rim, bang, get up, do it again, and do it again, like that. Jimmy Butler, man, when he was with.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So I just, I kind of feel bad for where we're at as a Heat fan base right now, because I think we're in a position where we're so unrealistic with our expectations. And then it doesn't help that you have the people that cover the NBA and cover the Heat. They come up with all these names all the time. Right? Because, no, Bradley Beal, he's going to want out. Well, why didn't he want out? Because he just signed a 2-year extension for $72 million. He's now tied to the Washington Wizards for 4 years for $130 million. He has a player option in 2022-2023 season. By that time, Jimmy Butler is done history and in the archives. He is toast at that point. And so they're not going to let him go. They obviously are signing him because they want him to be the centerpiece as they continue to build, because they know John Wall is done, and all they can't do anything with that Wall contract except just wait it out. That's it. Unless they want to do that thing where they pay him off and then break it down in a certain amount of years to lower it a little bit. But I don't even think they can do that at this point, because I think he has too many years left and so much money left. I mean, that contract is brutal. And it's brutal because he's not the same player anymore. He's a shell of what he used to be. But that's where I kind of feel bad. And here's the other one. What was the one I saw with Ira today? Tyler Hero and comparing him to Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is an elite defender. Tyler Hero can't play defense yet. They're trying to teach him how to play defense here.
That's a really, really super stretch.
Yeah, man. Wow. And to do that to the kid now, at this point, he's had a couple of really nice games in Summer League and the preseason. And we're now going to put him in the same sentence with Klay Thompson.
Probably in the postseason, you have a guy that you need to lock down. He's the best guy in the playoffs defensively to match up against your number one offensive threat.
Yeah, and Tyler Hero's not that guy.
Come on.
Tyler Hero's not that guy. I mean, I love his stroke. I love that guy can shoot. He's got star ability with that shot. Now, it doesn't mean he's going to be a star, but that thing is pure, that thing is real. But I don't know about anything else defensively. In order to be compared to Klay Thompson, you must be elite on both ends. And that's, I saw it and it's like, do we have to put this in there? You know why? Because then fans eat this crap up. And then if the kid's all right, then some fans will blame the Heat and blame the kid for not becoming as good as Klay Thompson because they read an article that compared him to Klay Thompson. And it's just so unfair to have that tied to him.
The Heat are not in the same situation as the Dolphins, and we've talked about it. Reporters creating and digging and really digging, you know what I mean?
Right.
The Heat are not in that position.
Right.
Why would you do that?
Because you got to write stuff.
Yeah, but come on.
You got to write
the regular season hasn't even started.
Yeah, I just the Klay Thompson comparisons. It's just so unfair to him, man. Nuts.
I like Ira, you know.
Ira's great.
He is awesome.
He's excellent.
That's disturbing.
Yeah,
that is disturbing.
It's a reach. That's all it is to me. It's a reach. But then again, everything about the Heat has been a reach. Everything. Seriously, for the last 4 or 5 years, it's all been about reaches. It's all about unrealistic expectations. It's all about, we're going to get this star and that star, and it doesn't happen. And then you fall in love with a bunch of
Didn't you see that group?
a bunch of mediocre guys that go 31 and 10.
31 and 10. You know what that translates to? 62 and 20.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that's supposed to happen to you and me. It's not supposed to happen to Pat Riley and company. They're not supposed to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. And that's exactly what they fell for with 31 and 10. You and I can make those mistakes, okay? We don't get paid to do this kind of stuff, right? I was huge on Devontae Parker. Didn't work out. Loved Devontae Parker. Guys around the NFL, they loved him too. Look what happened. Didn't work out. Kid the Heat had Breonte Weber. Loved him. Had a defensive disposition. That's what I really loved about him. And I thought he fit what the Heat will do. And then I said, okay, all he's got to do is develop that offensive game. Didn't happen. You know, that's we can make that mistake. You know, but the people that get paid for it, how do you get fooled by Dion Waiters knowing that he needs surgery and he's never been consistent or healthy his entire career, and yet you're going to pay him for 4 years off 29 games? Hassan Whiteside, you give him nearly $100 million guaranteed when you knew what he was as a person. I'm talking about irresponsible, lazy, and yet you still gave him the money because you were hopeful on some potential that had never shown up his first 5 years in the league. And by the way, we're still waiting for it. That whole thing about potential getting you fired, luckily it's Pat Riley. Pat Riley's one of the few guys, because think about it, any other GM matches Tyler Johnson's deal, gives James Johnson that contract, signs Whiteside, signs Dion Waiters, is fired on the spot. But because Pat Riley has 20 plus years of goodwill, you got to give him a break, and he deserves it. But we are at a point now where we expect him to reload with 3 more superstars, and he can't get one. That's why we got to really hope that Tyler Herro can turn into a real player, because that's going to be the way they got to fast track it. And that's how they did it last time. They drafted Wade, they unearthed a superstar, and then that opened the doors for everybody else, for Shaq and then the big 3 to come in.
Man, when you say it like that, you think about it, if we don't hit on Wade, man.
Oh, yeah.
We're probably still waiting for our ring, right?
Yeah.
That's
pretty much.
Man, I love Wade. I love 3.
3's amazing. And by the way, we are here at Toyota of Hollywood, where, of course, you can get up, folks, up to 50% off from the new price of their 2019 models at their model changeover event that is going on right now, like a 2019 Corolla, which lists at $21,000. You can get it for $12,775. My mother-in-law bought a Corolla here, a really nice Corolla. I don't know, it's got that sports package and all that stuff. It is a really, really nice car. 2019 Camry LE, it lists for $26,000. You can get it for $17,775. 2019 Sienna LE, looking for a minivan, listing at $36,000, $25,775. How about the 4Runner? Limited, 2019 4Runner Limited. That thing lists at $45,000 right now, $29,775. Check it out. They've got the Supra sales event going on right now. One of the largest selections of 2020 Supra launch editions in the country. So come on out here, and you got to check out the classic ones that I have here also. I did a video. It's on. We put it on Instagram, on Facebook. Facebook pages, and I took pictures of the new Supra and then 2 classic Supras that they have here. I want the brown one, man. I really like that Supra. That car is awesome, dude.
I gotta be honest with you, man. These new ones are so.
Oh no, they're amazing. They're amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know that mechanically it must be awesome.
It just, you know
great
what?
car.
It just sitting there. It looks like it just wants to get out and tear off some asphalt, man.
Yep.
Really.
Yeah. No, that's a badass vehicle right there, no doubt. All right, let's take a quick break. Short breaks here, not like the other places where you're out for 5, 7, 10 minutes now. Be right back here, really quick, and we'll continue here on the Big O Show.
Oh, how do you want me to word?
What?
The first segment was rumor of Drake.
Well, the Drake one is one,
yes.
and then the other one is two different
I
ones.
put the accident in front. The second one regarding Rosen.
Right.
And he should be playing and all
Right.
that stuff. I've got that cut ready. What do you want it named? Rosen should be starting on Sunday. Period.
Why Rosen should be starting and Flores is wrong. All right, I sent you the new Toyota of Hollywood to get in there now.
New one?
Yeah, it's a 60-second one.
Okay.
I sent in.
I'll cut it, get it in the last hour.
Oh, I gotta answer.
Yeah. I gotta hit the song. Rosen should be starting. And
Ready?
Floor and why Rosen Flores is wrong.
All right, what are we doing here?
Huh?
We're ready?
Dude, I just started the music. You got this is a full. This is an hour. This is an hour.
I know, but we're already 2:33. I gotta answer the text because we gotta get ready for the interviews.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
I was gonna go get you a sandwich.
No, I already ate. I got a chicken biscuit before I got here. Did you switch out your recordings?
You know what?
Switch that out and then start me up. So
I
that
got
way
you
you're good.
right now. Do 2 seconds. All right, brother.
All right, we are back. Back here at beautiful Toyota of Hollywood, and we'll be out here every month, so come on by, 1841 State Road 7 in Hollywood, and we love it out here, and we thank, of course, Steve Ostrov and Herbie Lopez getting it done for us. We are about to have our text segment where we answer your text questions that you send in at 786-322-1105. That's our accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. Send in your questions now. We'll line them up for you and we'll answer them in just a minute.
Hey, and guys, just to let you know, O was obviously eager to get out there. He could have had a 4 or 5 break like usual. He only took 3. He's very excited about answering your text.
Always, man. Yeah, unlike other stations that just forget about the callers, they don't want to take the callers, they don't care about the callers, they don't care about the listeners. That's not what I've never been about that. You guys know that. So it's one of those things.
This is kind of like a new segment that I guess we're going to try to incorporate every day.
Oh no, we're doing it.
That we respond and put it out there, and it's going to be a podcast.
People are loving it, man.
Well,
they're downloading that segment.
Well, you know what? We're giving them specifically. Hey, they're asking these questions.
Right.
We're giving them
the answers.
Our best.
Now, we give you our answers. They're probably all wrong, but we'll give you the answers.
It's a guesstimation.
Yes, and I am terrible at
assessment.
Nico Jones says, "What's up, Big O?" I love how it's Nico Jones. Let's see. Are you going to attend any of the Eagles Hotel California tour? Are they coming here? I may go to the show here. Are they?
You know we're gonna have to travel, man.
Yeah, well,
more than likely.
No, but see,
we're gonna have to travel.
No, here's what I was gonna tell you is that if I have to travel, I'm probably not doing it because I've already seen this Eagles. Without Glenn Frey, I've seen this Eagles bunch already 3 times. I saw them in New York. I saw them down here.
Only 3 times.
Yeah, I've seen this Eagles. I'm talking about this Eagles with Glenn Frey's son. I've seen it 3 times already. I've seen the Eagles overall. I don't know. It's already maybe 10 total now over the years.
Your bucket runneth over there.
Yeah,
buddy.
well,
that's
what I'm saying is that I've seen this Eagles group enough that I'm good with it. You know what I mean?
For those of us that
and I got to tell you something. The one I saw at the Classic East in New York at the, it's not called Shea State, City Field now, where the Mets play.
Yes.
And when he did in a New York minute, and he had done, it's over, you know, and that's it. So
You know what?
and they didn't do it in a New York Minute and any of the other ones because they weren't in New York. And that's one of those songs that you just don't hear a lot, you know?
Kind of for me to correlate, Nosebleed, looking back to the east at Stadium from Guns N' Roses.
Oh yeah.
And it's a get dark. And in the background, I mean, I'm looking down, seeing Guns N' Roses and just getting eye level, seeing the top of the stadium.
Yeah.
Up to Hollywood.
That's where we're at.
Toyota today.
We're right down the street from the big old guitar. We're right in Hollywood, home of Toyota of Hollywood and Dandy Donuts. Proud sponsors of our show.
Are we gonna have to stop at Dandy Donuts on the way?
Actually, I was talking to Bobby. He goes, "Hey, send one of your guys over so I'll give you a dozen." And I said, "No, today it's just me and Bill, so we don't have a third party to go get some donuts."
We should surprise him. We're gonna go.
But he offered. He goes, "Hey, man, come on by and go get some donuts."
Stopping?
It's Dandy Donuts.
All right, I know I didn't have to twist your arm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going just. That's my discipline now with Dandy Donuts. It's that it's only one donut that it used to be 3-4 donuts and stuff like that. Now I'm controlling it. You know what I'm saying?
Control for me is leaving with 2.
Yeah.
Usually it's either 6 or 12.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And we're going to answer your text questions on the accidentlawfirm.com text line at 78322-1105. If you want to get in, you can send us a text. We'll answer your questions there. The Heat are back in action tonight against the Magic. And Miami is 3-0 so far in the preseason. The Panthers are off tonight. They will take on the Avalanche on Friday. We will have the president of the Florida Panthers on with us at 3 o'clock. Matt Caldwell will join us at 3:30. The president of the Miami Dolphins, Tom Garfinkel. Today's President's Day on the show. I figured I'd get a couple presidents on, and so we'll have some fun talking with them. Got some baseball tonight. Got some Chiefs and Broncos tonight. So a little he is signed with the Wizards. Good to see you. So a lot of things going on the show. So a lot of things going on today. I saw where John Dorsey says he's committed to Mayfield, Kitchens, and Odell. Now, I found that story to be really interesting because you're at a point now as a GM. You're barely into this rebuild. Your quarterback's into his second year starting. You just acquired the wide receiver. You just hired the head coach, and they're asking you, hey, are the guys you have, are you still committed to them? Are they good enough? Are you going to, because people are already saying you should trade Odell because he's a pain in your, whatever, or he doesn't work, and him and Mayfield aren't on the same page, and all this other stuff.
I got to be honest with you, my defense for my fantasy team, do a number on them, but that fumble when Odell's trying to return that ball, that was just
Yeah, and he got into the fight early in the season, all that. So the general manager, John Dorsey, was asked after their 2-4 start. He goes, nobody in this organization is happy about 2-4. That's real. Let me remind everybody here, there's a lot of football to be played here. We have 10 games left in the season. I think the bye week comes at a good time. It gives the coaches a chance to review, self-assess, make some corrections, and implement those corrections. All cliches, of course. It gives the players a chance to regroup, cliche, and make the push on the back end of the 10-game schedule. So with that being said, the facts are what? We're 2-1 in the AFC, 1-0 in the AFC North, and we're 0-3 in the NFC. So there you go. And then Dorsey said Mayfield is everything he thought he'd be when they drafted him #1 overall last year, despite being 33rd in the NFL with a 66 quarterback rating and leading the league with 11 interceptions. 100%. Okay, and when asked about Freddie Kitchens, he goes, I think Freddie's done a really good job. I think the team has responded very well. I think the players play hard. What I've observed is he's really good at delegating. He's hired a really good football staff. I like the offensive scheme that he's kind of developed, which unfolded in the Seattle game by putting 6 in a really good position to kind of move those chains. 6 is, of course, Mayfield. I think we basically demonstrated our offensive rhythm in that one game as an example. But what I like on the 4th down is the strategy and courage he used in terms of going for it at proper times. That's good stuff right there. And so now you've got that question mark for him already at this point. And it's your franchise quarterback, your franchise wide receiver, and your head coach. And that's all being questioned right now. I wasn't a Mayfield guy, at least not to take him early in the draft. I wasn't a guy that, hey, you got to take him at number 1. I just didn't think that was the right move. I would have taken him maybe late first round in the second, and we'll see. Time will prove all if they were right about Baker Mayfield. But like I told you, whether it was yesterday or the day before, Baker's about this, about adversity. And that's kind of been his whole career, that he's overcome all kinds of adversity. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out if he can overcome that adversity. All right. Let's answer your text question.
I was just going to get you back on track, brother.
I am worried, Big O. Brian Flores has made stupid decisions. First, the decision to go for 2 at the end of the game, if the game against the Redskins, and now Flores decides to start Fitzpatrick against Buffalo. This is a bad sign, Big O. I believe that if this decision to start Fitzpatrick versus Buffalo backfires and the team is not competitive, Flores should be one step closer to being fired. First of all, you can't fire the man after the first season or during the first season. I'm not firing him. Again, team has improved. Do I disagree with some things he's done? Yeah, I do. I disagree with certain things he's done. But I'm not going to sit here and say that he's done a terrible job. It's too lazy to say he's terrible because they're 0-5. They got no talent. Any coach would be 0-5. But the team has improved. Do I agree with the decision to bench Rosen? No, I don't. I don't agree with it. But I'm not here to fire the guy. I'm going to wait some time, and maybe next year, let's see him play it out. This entire season develop, okay? Let's see what players get better. Let's see how much the team improves. And overall, they have responded to him. They're playing hard in every single game. So that it can't.
No penalties, man.
Yeah. It's crazy.
They're doing. The coaching staff can't do more. Okay.
No, they don't have any talent. Hey, Big O, this may be a crazy question. You will probably clown me. Could the Dolphins hire Gruden as a special assistant, the same position Jim Caldwell was hired for, to help develop Josh Rosen? He's not a good head coach, but he did do a good job with Andy Dalton and Kirk Cousins. They could. I doubt he's going to take a job right now because he's getting paid so much money. I don't think he'd want to get back into the mix right away. Maybe next year. And remember, it'll offset whatever money he's getting as a head coach. Whatever he gets in as an assistant, they would minus that away from his salary. So that's what the Redskins would pay a little less. But in that case, the Dolphins would actually get a break in that salary because he probably wouldn't ask for as much because he'd want the Redskins and Snyder to pay more of it because he'd just want to screw Snyder. You know what I mean? He'd probably, just pay me $25. Serious? Okay.
Is there a worse owner in the NFL?
No, there is no worse owner than Dan Snyder because it's been going on too long.
We're talking 2 decades now, right?
Yeah.
You remember when he first got there and he bought all those veterans?
No, he was
Bruce Smith and Dion, and then he was like, "We're gonna blah blah blah."
Yeah.
They fall
Never did anything
on their face.
Never did anything. You the man, Big O. Yo, man, what's the name of that podcast you were talking about in an hour? Would love to check it out. Keep up the work. God bless. Best sports show in South, hands down. I think you're talking about the sound check. Big O's sound check. The link is on our Twitter page and Facebook. So you can go to Big O Show and Orlando Alzagiri pages and on Twitter at Big O Show. You'll see the link there for the sound check. Big O's Soundcheck, and then you can subscribe to it. That way you guys can follow us.
There's 5 uploads. It's basically the pilot, which was the first.
Right.
Then the interview with Rick from Adelita's Way. Then obviously your second episode, yes. Then we got
our second episode.
Yes, and then we got obviously Tommy Anthony's interview, and then your discussion regarding the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and
music news.
There's actually 6
favorite bands.
There's 6.
Yeah,
there's 6 of them.
Yeah.
I forgot. There are 3 off the second episode.
Yeah. There's some segments there just in case if you don't have time to listen to the whole thing. There's a lot of good stuff there. The interview with Tommy Anthony. I promise you. Sit down, take some time, cruise around, grab a coffee, grab a cigar, roll a J. Listen to that interview with Tommy Anthony. You are going to love it. And for those of you that get frustrated like Bill and I do, and my buddy Robert Grieper does too, that some bands don't come down here and why, he tells you why, and you'll
we're not
find out.
we're not just the bastard child.
Yeah, find out.
It's
Find out. Great stuff. Orlando went to BigORadioshow.com to watch, and it's a GoDaddy page. Am I missing something? No, sir. The website will be up very soon. It is BigORadioshow.com. That is the website, but the site is not up yet. It might be up this weekend or early next week. We might have something already, but we're really, really close. It's a complicated site. It's not an easy site because it's the Big O Show and the Soundcheck. We're going to be both on that website. Going on. It's going to be all sports stuff. We're going to have a lot of music stuff, videos, interviews. To the website, but we're waiting for the website to start adding that. But yes, the website is coming, and it'll be a place where you will have a hub for all the shows, any of the videos, any blogs, any kind of content. All that stuff is going to be there, and every episode that Bill uploads to iTunes and Spotify and Stitcher and SoundCloud and all that, it'll be on the website too. The links will be there. So for those of you that aren't very good with apps or whatever, you can just go to the website and you can hit all the freshest stuff there on the website for you guys to keep up with everything. But again, and we'll have a calendar page. We'll have all I've been working on this website for a while now with my guys and trying to put it all together. So we're just trying to do the right things and trying to set everything up, and we'll have it. I promise you on that. Let's see, Big O. Would you trade Kenyon Drake before the deadline or let him walk in free agency and maybe get a compensatory pick, Eugene and Homestead? I would trade him. I would trade him because he's an injury risk. And I don't want to risk him getting injured and then you get nothing. So I would rather you trade him if you can. And I think that's why they've been showcasing him. And I told you guys already for a while now, it's Devontae Parker and it's Kenyon Drake. They're trying to trade all 3 guys. Okay? Devontae Parker has no future here. He was only brought back because maybe they can develop and get more out of him than everybody else, and he stays healthy and they get lucky and they get to move him before the deadline. Albert Wilson was already under contract. He has no future as it is. He hasn't been durable. If they could have get him on the field, in which he's just returning now, but if he somehow can perform and somebody would be stupid enough to trade for him, they do it also. Okay? But so far that hasn't been the case. Future Hall of Fame. All the world takes plays off. Nose tackle Jordan Phillips might ball out against a backup center. Hopefully not. Well, he's definitely going to ball out, my man. He's going to have fun whether it Kilgore or not. Okay, whether it's, what is it, Bohm, or whatever, Bohm. Evan Bohm is the guy that's probably going to play for Kilgore, and he was going to abuse either guy. Kilgore's not a big, strong guy. He's actually an undersized center. So, we'll see. Let's see what YouTube fan says. YouTube fan says, some STP. I can hear the music in the acoustic set. Yeah, you guys You guys are crafty. YouTube fan also says, did you vote for Kraftwerk to go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I know it's not rock, but they belong there. They are pioneers. You got to listen to the sound check. I went deep into the nominees. And I went deep into the Kraftwerk conversation. You would definitely want to check out that one. Let's see, what else do we have here? Everyone knows. No, here we go. No, I got to go with the 80s Canes over the Heat. No, you can't. Because it wasn't 3 or 4 in a row. They were separated in different. It wasn't. You didn't understand my point. It was just in a short window of greatness. You know what I mean?
4 and 8.
Yeah, right. It's
83 to 91.
No, that's a more impressive feat, but it's a lot longer. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, I can't. You know, it's different when you go to 4 straight World Championships or 3 straight Super Bowls, and you win 2 of them, and you have a perfect season. I gotta go.
That's why I was so rooting against
Golden
window. State, because the last team to go to 4 championships, and now we've been supplanted and we're forgotten about.
Well,
thank you, Golden State.
Well, you should have beat Dallas. Okay, Big O, let Tom G know about our draft plans. I've been telling my rep about it already, and he loves the idea. NorCal, I will tell Tom Garfinkel about it. And Bill and Big O, where's the show location November 1st? Oh, that's a great idea.
Watch this.
I don't have my calendar.
You ready?
Do you know? What day is November 1st?
October 31st is Halloween. We are at CBD. Right. So November 1st is Friday. And we're
at Hialeah Park. Hialeah Park. That's right.
Give that man a Big O t-shirt.
We are at Hialeah Park. There you go. We are at Hialeah Park on November 1st. So there you go. Come on over to Hialeah Park. You can gamble. You can have some great Latin food at NorCal. You don't get that over there in NorCal.
You don't have to have Latin food, though. They have all kinds, man.
He's coming from Northern California. The man does have to have some Latin food.
If he's in Hialeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. That's where you want to get your Cuban food specifically. From growing up.
Okay, some guy sent in a text that says, "Still hear you." Okay, I'm not sure. That's a question or a comment or whatever, but I appreciate it. Unless he's hearing like the early part of the broadcast, and then he's sending in, "Yeah, we hear you." Because maybe when I was asking at the beginning of the broadcast,
delayed reaction.
Yeah, and we were coming on at 1, but we kind of came on at 12:30. When you run the show, you can do whatever the hell you want. It's a beautiful thing.
When you're the boss, you can do whatever you want.
Exactly, and it's really nice. You can broadcast wherever you want. You can take care of the sponsors. Take care of the listeners. We can actually answer, and I'm trying to set it up where we can actually take phone calls on the road.
Look,
that's what I'm trying to do.
Tomorrow we do not. We start at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
That's a hard. Friday at Hialeah Racetrack.
Yeah, Hialeah. Yeah.
It's a hard start. 1 to 4.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we start. Maybe we finish. Maybe we start early. Who knows? Maybe you just never know. You never know. But yeah, you're right. You'll probably start at 1. Probably start at 1, but you just never know. Maybe we could get an interview a little earlier.
Like being unrestricted, man.
I like it. I have no problem with that. And one of the things that the listeners have kind of been responding to is they want more material. They want us on longer. Like a lot of the people kept saying, "Yo, 2 hours is not enough. You used to do 3 and 4," and they're right. Now, remember, I used to do 3 and 4. Where 27 minutes of it was commercials and traffic and promotions and all that. So I was only talking 33 minutes in the hour. Now we talk something like 55 minutes out of the hour. We give you practically double the talk that everybody else does in their hours. That's pretty cool. Okay? And it's also a challenge, okay? It's not easy to be doing this, for 55 minutes straight. You know what I mean?
You
and
think about
short break. I mean, yesterday, man. Yesterday we did six hours of programming. I was toast, man.
Doing a solid 54, and in regular radio, it's 35 per hour. Okay. Like when we did almost 4 hours, it's almost like doing 6 or 7 hours of regular radio.
Yeah, crazy, man. Crazy stuff. All right, so that is your segment, answering your text. We'll do it every day here on the program. Remember, you can reach out to us on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Anytime you're listening to the show, the podcast, anytime, middle of the night, middle of the day, whatever, and then we'll podcast that segment for you. So just in case we got to your question, I can't say we're going to get to every question that comes in, but we try to get to a bunch that we can get to. And when we come back on the other side, we're going to talk to Matt Caldwell, the president of the Florida Panthers. He's going to join us next.
Dude, I had my ringer and stuff off as usual, and I went.
Oh, he was saying.
Calling.
What they were saying is that they were still hearing us during the breaks. Hey, I don't know if you left it potted up or something.
Which break?
I don't know.
Because the one you were gone.
Yeah,
you were gone during both.
I don't know.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe they're picking the minuscule output on the camera.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they're,
Nothing's up yet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, here we are.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Say that to me, bro. You're about to get your 4th one. What do you want to do, man?
I'm seeing what Adeline says now, if we call Matt Sell or not.
Yeah, because I'm playing music now. Just to let you know.
Hey man, yeah man. Yeah, down 50, bro. Wow. So surviving, brother. How about you? How you been?
Working.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where I work at a dealership.
Okay.
Service department.
Okay. Nice. I was telling Steve that because I've been waiting for Acura, but they're not going to get one. I've been wanting an electric car because I want to go green. So I'm probably going to get the one they got here. So as long as I keep in the Craigsin family, and they expanded, so I'm doing Acura and this once a month. So yeah, no, it's really cool. Nobody does that, man. So it's really nice of them, man. It's really nice of Steve and Herbie to support me. Okay. I sent you Matt Sell.
You did?
Did I? I just want to make sure. Yeah.
Or not.
I send it to you or not?
No, I don't.
Okay. Let me give it to you right now.
Panthers.
Call them now.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
So you have your
Have
own
them on,
station
hold, and then boom,
Yes.
fire
your
it.
own station or whatever?
Yeah, it's not my own station. It's my own podcast broadcast.
Okay.
So we broadcast it every day live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Okay.
And then we podcast it. So that's why we call it a podcast broadcast. And so I'm working on with our website to have a listen live button. So people not only they can watch it, but if they just want to listen and pull it up like an app, they can do that.
You ain't missing much anyway.
Huh?
You ain't missing much anyway just having at the station. So.
Oh no, dude, that place is a disaster. They're just, it's worse and worse every day. No, I'm fine.
The first day that they got in, they got rained in.
Yeah.
Got flooded everything.
I have my sponsors. I don't have to worry about anything. I've been sharing the money with them. Now I don't have to. And we don't have to charge them.
No matter where we go, they always. Where's he at? We're just like, listen, I don't know. He's somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're
you want him to hear the segment, right?
Of course, yes.
Okay, I'm calling him right now. We're going to do this. Let's go.
I've been waiting. Go for it.
All right, brother.
Yeah, man. So I'm happy with this. I'm super happy with this, and the people have responded, bro. We're averaging like almost 3,000.
Matt, how you doing, man? It's Bill.
That's
his
90,000 a month.
producer.
That's
Thank you
over
for
$1
joining
million
us
for the
today,
year.
man.
What's up, dude?
You were here. How are you?
Good, bro.
Looking
Good,
forward
man.
to it tomorrow
Can't
night.
complain.
Thank you for everything you've got.
Good to see you, dude.
Yeah, over there is just.
Yeah, brother. Yeah,
Not
man.
one thing is another.
Yeah, man.
Like,
Listen, we did a little segment for you. We're gonna have you listen to it and stuff. Hope you enjoy it.
That's what's on my side.
Give us a minute. We're gonna get you on right now.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, I know.
For joining us again. Have a nice day.
It's just they make it. It just
It's
gets.
not like before.
No, it's
And
not.
I feel it
Bro,
too,
it's
so
not.
it's like-
It's not like it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Forget about now. Now, the last 10 years is just. It's getting so bad, bro. They don't take care of their clients. They don't take care of their employees. They treat people like shit. They get rid of you like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And it's brutal.
No problem. It was nice to see you. Keep
You
up
got
the
it,
good
baby.
work.
Thank you. All right, we're ready to rock, baby. We're always ready to rock here on the program. You know who's also ready to rock? Matt Caldwell. That's right. The president of the Florida Panthers. Today it's President's Day on the show, and Matt is kind enough, he's always kind enough to join us here on the show, and you can follow him on Twitter at Caldwell16, but it is your debut on the broadcast podcast, baby, so welcome aboard, Matt. How you doing? I appreciate it. Thank you, my man. I appreciate you taking some time, and I think it's, I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of your ownership group. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you guys have accomplished. I know we need to see the magic come together on the ice, but one of the things as a fan, I gotta say, I don't know what more you guys can do at this point. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing that I do want to lay it out there for you guys, that what Vinny, what Doug, what you, and that entire front office have done, it's simply amazing, and it shows an incredible amount of dedication to sign a bunch of players to long-term contracts, and then to bring a Hall of Fame coach, and what probably is a Hall of Fame goaltender too, to this team to try to get them over the top. I don't know what more you guys can do. I really don't. just walk me through those, because I know you're feeling the was. Tell me, describe it, please. Describe it, please.
You will. Yeah, and I think it might have been a turning point. I'm hoping, at least as a fan, that it was a turning point, because while we were kind of disappointed with the shootouts and the results, you know, and yeah, you're getting a point, but when you come back the way they did from that win, it almost felt like it was a built-up frustration, shootout losses, to then you get to that game and you're like, okay, this is enough already. And that's kind of what I don't know, maybe I'm completely wrong, because I'm just a dude sitting and watching it on television. And by the way, we were actually doing the podcast. It was on, and then I was able to watch, we were done with the podcast during the second intermission, so I was able to watch the third intermission without any interruption, so it was great on my part. But that's kind of what it felt like to me, you know, after talking to the guys. Could I be right? Could I be close to anything? Because it just seemed like a volcano exploded with those guys. Yeah, and that was phenomenal. Have you been around for a Coach Q ass ripping? I'm just curious because you have. Did you walk out of that room? Did you walk out of that room like he ripped you too or something? Was it one of those deals? Yeah, I would have. You could tell, dude, when you're watching him, right? And he doesn't really show a lot of emotion behind the bench, but there'll be these faces that you can kind of tell when he's not happy with something, right? And then you kind of know his history, and you're like, oh man, I don't want to be on that dude's bad side and going into that locker room. You know what I'm saying? That. And listen, the way you've started, it's not like all the young guys are exploding right now with goals. That's kind of the positive of all of this, right? Some of the guys haven't started to take off yet offensively, and when that happens, that's going to make life a little easier for everybody, including Bob.
How are my levels when I play? You guys can still talk, everything good?
Yeah. Can you tell me the night or the day or the morning or the moment that Quenneville agreed and how that all came about? Because you guys must have been high-fiving and breaking champagne bottles and smoking the most expensive cigars in the world or something. I don't know. It must have been one hell of a celebration. So I'm just wondering, how did that all come together? And in a way, not that I know Vinny well or Coach Q, but they kind of look like the same individual. Intense, that they're committed. They're not like the guys that are going to go crazy on you, but they're going to hold everybody accountable, because I know Vinny does that in your organization. So it kind of looks like those two dudes probably are a lot alike almost. Matt Caldwell, of course, the president for the Florida Panthers, joining us. Follow him on Twitter at Caldwell16. Matt, what do you think about the Avalanche tomorrow night? Panthers been off for a couple days. That nice little comeback for the Devils. They should be fresh for this game. Yeah, a couple good. And speaking of the Penguins, they're here on the 22nd, so you got a couple of sweet games coming up here for you Panther fans out there. By the way, it looks to me like Malgin, this is his year, dude. And like, this is where he grows, like, to the point that we were all expecting. Is that what you're starting to see too? Chari, wow. Holy crap. Wow. But Talon does this every year. Every year he finds a dude that just ends up being just helping out, man, and making an impact. And he does this every single year. I don't know, that guy might make it one day as a general manager in this league. You know what? They'll might just make it one day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that is the consistency is crazy, dude. It's just he does this all the time, and then, you know, it gets to a point where we get spoiled now, and now we expect him like to come up with a new dude every year and unearth somebody from somebody else, right? The daddy pickup from a couple of years ago has paid off. He had a crafty goal. He had a crafty ass goal the other night, man. That was sweet. You know? Yeah, that was absolutely awesome. Just to tell the folks out there, you got Post Malone on the 21st. For you wrestling fans, WWE Live. The 25th. I will be November 5th there for the Black Keys, baby. You're gonna be there for the Black Keys? You're gonna join me for that one? Are you you're a Black Keys fan? Huh? Yeah, man, good stuff there. I love it. And so let me ask you something. The challenge of filling that building up all the time with concerts, what's that like? Because you must have a section of people that are working the phones on a consistent basis trying to line up those shows. Tell me about it. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I actually had Santana's guitarist, Tommy Anthony, on my sound check show, the music show that I'm doing now. We just started a couple weeks ago, and he was telling us the reason why not all the bands come down, and it's kind of like if they can't go to the BB&T or the AAA, the next level, that's where we kind of suffer as we have great elite places like your place in the AAA, but when it comes to the secondary arenas that are smaller, 10, 8,000, that kind of stuff, 7,000, we're not nearly as strong, and so it hurts some of the acts because not every act can go and fill up the BB&T Center or the AAA. Follow him on Twitter at Caldwell16. He is the president of the Florida Panthers. Matt, as always, my man, thank you for taking some time. We always appreciate it. Look forward to the game tomorrow night, my man, and I'll see you for the Black Keys, too. You got it, baby. Be good. There you go. Little growl and everything. There you go. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it. All right. Remember, if you guys want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the program, you can also reach out to me on Twitter at Big O Show. You can reach out to us on Instagram at Big O Radio Show. As always, many ways to reach out to us. We're at Toyota of Hollywood, and that's at 1841 State Road 7 in Hollywood. Right now, they got a sale going on where you can save up to 50% on some of the new prices. This 50% off the new price, by the way, on their 2019 models at their model changeover event going on here at Toyota of Hollywood, and you can come see Herbie Lopez and all the great people out here at Toyota of Hollywood. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be gone for a couple minutes. When we come back on the other side, Tom Garfinkel. I told you it's President's Day. The president of the Miami Dolphins is going to join us. He's also the CEO of the Dolphins and Hard Rock Stadium. He will join us next.
We call him.
He's gonna call you.
He's gonna call me.
What up, dude?
What's going on, man? Except for the routine maintenance of like 5,000, 6 months, and just doing the left. I'm like, don't shit, you're on it. All right.
So how you been?
Pretty good.
Still on your way?
No, I'm not 40 or whatever. No, well, I was telling them for a little bit. I was like downstairs in the traffic center.
Oh, okay, good.
Getting away from it, but you know.
I don't blame you, bro. It's a terrible business. Bad, man. You know?
Can be.
So, that's why I'm doing this now. I'm trying to see if I can make it work. Yeah, that's it. That's what I do. I show me the sound problem. I'm like, okay, good. And so, yeah, we're adding the sponsors from right now. So I run like 2 dealerships a month. Who fucking does that? Right. Nobody's at one dealership.
Partners.
Really? Sports radio? Who does it?
People services.
Yeah, that's it.
Here's the run that one.
Right, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
Get shirts every Saturday, kind of half hours, like this is more.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do it from time to time.
Let's do it.
It's been pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I know you have a good start, but let us know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I've got a marketing, so they've helped me out with all the bells and whistles. He's calling you there?
California.
Yeah, it's probably his cell number. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it's his cell.
What's his name?
It's Tom Garfinkel.
Tom Garfield. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, hold on.
No, I'm talking.
Wait a minute. I have to turn the Bluetooth off on the tab. Hello. Tom, how you doing? What's to the board? You're like on the board. You ready to join us, man? Okay, no, we'll make it work. Appreciate you joining us.
I have another banner that's going to go with this show, but it's an 8-foot banner.
Thank you for calling. Thank you, Tom. Have a nice day now.
We're ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's go.
Go in that building, so I accessed everything, so you can get that done, no problem.
Okay, let's. Do I have your number? Take my here.
I got a card, I'm good.
Here, send me your cell.
That's my new stuff. The mobile is me.
Send me your cell,
Yeah.
and that way I can remember. I don't know if I have your cell or not.
How soon will you need all that?
ASAP.
Sure.
ASAP. We'll talk. I'll call you when I get out of here.
Yeah,
And we'll talk.
I might be out of the book, so.
No, I'll call you and I'll tell you what I need, and then we'll talk. Okay?
Good seeing you, man.
Good to see you. You got it, baby. All right, welcome back. I promise here on President's Day, we go from one president, Matt Caldwell, from the Florida Panthers, to another president, and now we're going to talk to Tom Garfinkel. You can follow him on Twitter, like I and so many others do, at Tom Garfinkel, the Vice Chairman, President, and CEO of the Miami Dolphins and Hard Rock Stadium. And before I say anything, Tom, thank you for joining us. I always appreciate it. But I got to tell you, I gotta commend you and the organization, because what you're doing this year is not an easy thing to do, and it's really easy to criticize. It's really lazy to criticize, I think, but it's really hard to do what you're doing. But it was something that was needed, and I commend you guys in resetting this team, because I have avoided the T word. I don't think you guys are tanking. It's called resetting, the way I see it, because in this kind of sport, you gotta do it too. The money doesn't roll over to the following year and you get to replace the same people with the same amount of money. It just doesn't happen that way. Do we have them? Wait a minute, hold on. We have Tom. Hell of an open, I don't got him. Tom, you there? Is it hotted up? Is it on? Tom, can you hear me? Let's see. Think we're having a little trouble there. Everything set on there? What's going on? We're trying to fix it here to see if we can get Tom Garfinkel on. Maybe he's hearing us and we can't hear him, or something along those lines.
He did say he was on his car phone, and for whatever reason, it just...
Is it awesome? Are you still connected?
Yeah, it says we're connected. It was his phone. Here we go.
Okay. All right. There you go. Tom, you there? Oh, we got you now. There we go. It's a beautiful thing, live radio. All right. Anyway, Tom, thank you if you heard the open there, but I was just saying I commend you guys, because what you did and what you're doing with the organization and resetting it, because it's not tanking, it's resetting. It takes a lot of guts to do what you guys are doing. It was needed, and I commend you guys on it, because I think it's going to turn out the right move for you guys down the line.
And I think it's just a bold move. I think you're going to be a trendsetter. I really do. I think that other teams are going to end up seeing, because we saw it with the Cubs, we saw it with the Astros, we saw it with the Sixers, and they went through some rough times, and then now they're in a much better position. And you know, the part that I laugh, and I kind of said it in the original Open when we couldn't get in contact with you there, that in this business that you're at, see, in a regular business, you can take over a company and you can fire 15 managers and 16 assistant managers and 4 corporate managers, and then you can replace them all with the same salaries because you have the money available. In this sport, you can't. There are accelerations, there are cap, ramifications to it, and so you can't get the same player back once you cut them. You've got to take that cap hit and to move on. And I thought it was genius to just take that one lump sum and just get over that hump already, so you can kind of have that clean slate, and you're no longer mortgaging the future every year in that vicious cycle that you were in. Did you anticipate all this stuff, the criticism and all that? Did you think it would be as big of a deal as it was? And do you get entertained by some of the? Because sometimes I also think that maybe some of the reporters are complaining because they've got to cover it. You know what I mean? And it's almost like. doubt. Tom Garfinkel, the president of the Miami Dolphins, joining us here on the program. All right, Tom, you talked about the stadium. By the way, thank you, because I went to the Stones concert, and then I was able to walk under that tunnel for the first time. Just out of curiosity, did the vision for all of this, was this a couple of years back, or was this something that you kind of pieced together as along the way? We need this, we need that, because it is, you're right, it's a completely different stadium. It's a completely different experience when you go to that stadium now. Not that it was a bad stadium before, but man, you guys have made it so awesome now and so comfortable for us too as fans, whether it's for a game or a show. Right. Any shot the F1 vehicles will be using the tunnels. How did it all happen, Tom? Tell me, because I know that they were talking first with downtown Miami, and I remember when I was young, I would go down to see the Grand Prix. In fact, I still have a couple of those posters from the original Grand Prix in downtown Miami. Probably worth some money, by the way, nowadays. But anyway, I remember doing all that, and I used to love watching the races in downtown, and I know they were talking about it. So once that broke down, did you guys take over right away? How did that all come together? Yeah, Rolling Loud is there. You have several concerts all throughout the year. It's become kind of an entertainment destination, is what you guys are creating there, because you've got all kinds of sporting events, you got all kinds of entertainment events. You're going to bring the practice facility there. I mean, that place has become a one-stop shop now for entertainment. What's your last hurdle? Miami Gardens? Is that it? Because boy, they are benefiting from all these events that you guys are bringing to that stadium. That's it's been a coup for them. But I'm wondering how this whole thing with and are the cars aren't nearly the same like they used to be, right? They don't make nearly as much noise as they used to. Is that true?
I don't see like no coach that has to play the piece like that, or every coach is different.
Como é que é? Sábado eu vi que você consegue ouvir isso que você falou? Então vamos marcar sábado. Vai ser tipo de tarde ou de manhã? Tipo assim, 10 da manhã, tá bom? 11 horas. Tá 11 então. Então você me liga quando estiver vindo então. Passa por texto ou por WhatsApp?
Yes.
Não, eu estou passando.
Yeah, Tom, don't worry about it. You don't have to say it. I'll say it. There's some residents in town that you watch some of their cars out on the street. They're polluting the crap out of our air, way more than any F1 car could ever do, actually. So yeah, that definitely does happen. Hey, what's the plan for the practice facility? When does construction start? When will construction end? When do you guys intend to have it ready for the team? Yeah, no doubt. But you still have to have the right things around to prepare those people, and that's at least commending to you guys that you're doing that. Just out of curiosity, do you have the number outside of Stephen Ross spending 1.1 billion to buy the team? What's the number he has spent on improving the stadium, the tennis tournament, what he's doing with the practice facility, all that stuff? How much money are we talking about now? Because that might sound like another billion. So what's left in the future? Come on, break some news. What do you got for me? I love it. Jay, get it? Okay, wait a minute. That's not a joke, right? This is real now? Is this actually true? Wow, I had not heard about that. That is amazing. A gondola? Holy moly, Tom Garfinkel, he is awesome. So your mind just doesn't stop working every single moment. You're just thinking about, how can I make this stadium the best stadium in the world? That's what you just keep doing. That's awesome. This, I know you're a music guy. What have you been cruising around with the last couple of days? Okay. 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 I'm getting now into country because it has more rock element into it and a little more pop element into it. When I was younger, I really didn't get into the twangy country, but this country now has a different edge to it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know. I know you like your Tupac. Right? There you go. Good stuff. All right, Tom, as always, thank you for taking some time. Continue the exceptional work, man. You're making the experience at that stadium second to none, and that is really, really cool, man. Thank you. You got it. There you go. Tom Garfinkel, man. Good stuff there. Joining us on the program. Let me take a quick break here. Give us a short break here. I'm going to talk to Steve Ostrov here from Hollywood Toyota. He's going to come on by here for just a second, then we'll get ready to wrap up the show, and we'll tell you a little bit more right here on The Big O Show. Yeah. No, you don't need them. You don't need them because it's just us. Yeah, it's just us. We're not taking phone calls, so you could just talk. Okay. All right, you ready?
Big O, great having you here at Toyota Hollywood. This is Steve Ostrov, the general manager. It's unbelievable what you bring to the store here.
I appreciate that, Steve. Actually, it's been nice because a couple of friends have come by and a couple of folks have actually come by to say hi. The one thing I will tell you, Steve, about this place is I had no idea how big this place is.
Well, I'll tell you, that's why you've got to come to Toyota Hollywood, because if you want to see an automobile dealership like you've never seen before in your life, our dealership is the size of a football field in length. Okay, we've got 2 restaurants. We've got a Subway franchise and a Mama DeLuca franchise. We've got the greatest service waiting area in the car business, and that's why we're the #1 Toyota dealership, volume Toyota dealership in the Southeast, and #2 in the country.
By the way, you were tripping me out with the classic Supras. Where did you guys get those classic Supras from? Because the new Supra is, I mean, Bill right here wants to drive this one right out of here. But, I mean, the new Supras are super sharp, but where did you find those classic ones?
Craig, the owner, is a collector of these automobiles, and I think the one we have on the showroom floor is a 1997 or 98 with about 60 miles on it. It's worth about $300,000. And I'll tell you what, we've got
the green one is worth $300,000.
$300,000.
Why? Because it only has 60 miles.
It's so rare, and that turbo super of that model of that genre is just so rare, and it's so desired by these sports car enthusiasts that they just go crazy. And that one is basically brand new. And all these other Supras we have the 2020 Supra Launch Edition that are numbered. There's only 1,500 available in the world. So who knows, one of these cars we have on the show floor might be that type of investment as well.
Wow, that is, I did not know. I actually took some videos of it and I posted it. So how much is the Burgundy one worth? And what year is that one? That one's in the 80s, right?
The black one,
or early 90s.
Early 90s. That car is worth about $30,000. But the hot ones are from 1993 to 1998. The twin turbo Supra is worth all the money. And again, when we sold somebody brand new, I believe today it would be worth $300,000.
That is impressive.
It sure is. The Toyota product is a product like no other, and our dealership is a Toyota dealership like no other.
Yeah, no, well, you've got so many people going on here. I mean, there's so much action going on here. I don't even know how you track everything.
On a Saturday, it's like the New York Stock Exchange in our store. It's phenomenal. It's ridiculous, and I just love working here, and all the employees do as well. It's just a fun place to work.
Steve Ostrov, of course, here with us at Toyota of Hollywood, and again at 1841 State Road 7 here in Hollywood. So, are you able to keep these on the lot, the Supras? Because I would imagine that they are in high demand.
We have the largest inventory of 2020 Supras, and again, the numbered cars. We went out throughout the country and we bought them and we brought them in because we wanted to be the as well as the #1 Toyota dealership in the United States of America.
Why did they discontinue that car? Because it was such a cool car.
Well, I can't answer that, but it was in such high demand as a pre-owned car. Toyota had to bring it back again.
Right. I mean, it was such a cool car that it was one of those. It was what, like, I understand when companies get rid of a car that maybe they didn't have a good track record with it, things didn't work out, whatever. That was a smoking car. It was always a smoking car.
Well, we want a car that's for the enthusiasts, and we finally have it again. And you got to come by and out there and take a look at it and visit with Big O as well, because he puts on a great show, and we're glad to have you back in our world.
I appreciate that. And by the way, how many different Supra models are there?
There's 4 different Supra models. You have the Launch Edition, the Premium. We have 4 in total, and we've got them all in stock right now.
There you go. Good stuff.
Thanks
Steve,
again,
thank you for taking the time, my brother. You got it. You're the best.
No problem.
Steve Ostrov, man. Thanks to Steve, thanks to Herbie Lopez, all the great people out here at Toyota of Hollywood. Another loaded day today, Bill. Another loaded day here on the program. A lot of things to talk about. Tomorrow we're going to be at Hialeah Park, my brother.
Yeah, as far as the loaded up day today, I would have no idea. The last hour and a half, 2 hours, have been chopping up segments. 3 hours with this little extra 4 to 3.5. I think we got 9 segments up already.
There you go. That's all. That's all we need.
Yeah, you know what? And there's like a whole nother hour and 20 minutes plus this little add-on. I want to go to Danny Donuts, man, before the glazes are gone.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
you gotta
it's
make
later.
a phone call.
It's late in the afternoon.
I want a dozen donuts, a dozen glazes. Please make a phone call.
I probably can go there and back while you're doing the teardown. You know that, right?
You're not going to let me go to Danny Donuts?
Why? If I can go there and back while you're doing this, it's all the same thing. Still bring you the donuts.
I was thinking about maybe
but the
getting
faster,
a cheeseburger. I haven't even had lunch.
Oh, well then ask for the cheeseburger. I'll pick up the cheeseburger. You want a cheeseburger for real?
We'll discuss this when we get off the air. But yeah, probably yes.
Not just the donuts, he wants the food too.
I haven't eaten all day, brother.
The man wants 10 days in Vegas and all kinds of food. All right, we thank
3 weeks in Vegas.
We thank Matt Caldwell. We thank Tom Garfinkel, Bill. Great stuff as always. Steve Ostrov, Herbie Lopez. We'll be back here next month. We'll tell you when. Thank you for following us. Make sure you can reach out to us anytime on the accidentlawfirm.com text 322-1105. Be good out there.